clear the frequency. Is there any priority traffic at this time? Alrighty. 2-meter crew is not an actual club, just a bunch of hams that are learning and enjoying everything that's ham radio, HF, 2-meter, and we kind of do it all. A lot of digital work also. There's no dues or fees to be a member. For more info, you can just log in to the 2metercrew.com or visit our Facebook site, which is the number 2MC. And this is an open net, and everyone is welcome. Please feel free to join in at any time. 2-meter crew anti-net meets every Wednesday at 7 on the W6 VVR repeater, which is 145.470, negative offset of 600 kilohertz, and a PL tone of 127.3 hertz. And I'll come back in a second here or two. We have EchoLink. We can also come in. You can come in via AllStar. And the net is also being live fed right now through Ham Radio TV on YouTube. Ham Radio TV on YouTube. And there also will be listed the different modes that you can check into if you want to come in through EchoLink or AllStar. Let's see, we'll do a few updates here. Jason, any updates on our live feed, or did you want to call out a few of the other access codes?
Hey, Carlos, good evening. KM6FAK here. Yeah, we're doing good. We got 28 people there in YouTube hanging out with us. The chat is starting to fill up. Feel free to drop your call in that chat. I've got, after Justin goes, depending how long Justin goes, I might show some things on SDR, which is kind of interesting, some of the things I've been experimenting with lately. So back to you, Carlos.
Yeah, that sounds good. I've got you jotted down here for our second topic. Okay, we've been changing the format up a little bit. You probably noticed last week. We're getting just a ton of people watching, which is great. But it seemed like we spent the whole time doing check-ins, and that's kind of exactly what the anti-net was not supposed to be. And so I'm going to take check-ins, but I'd like just to check in new hams who haven't had a chance to be up on the air much. You know, you can be fairly new, or first-time visitors to the anti-net. Go ahead and check in now, and I'll get you down here and see what you're up to. Any new hams or first-time visitors?
This is KN6IOC, Johnny in Antioch.
Hey, Johnny in Antioch. That was KN6IOG as in golf.
C as in Charlie, thanks.
IOC. Well, Johnny, welcome aboard. And a pretty new ham. And how'd you find us?
Probably about 3 weeks, maybe a month old at this point, as far as my ham date, and love listening to the 2-meter crew on the repeater.
Yeah, some pretty good folks out here. A lot of nuts, keep it lively and moving. A lot of activity always going on. So welcome aboard. Thanks for checking in. Anybody else checking in? First-time visitors or new hams?
KN6IQA. The name is William, going through the repeater through EchoLink.
All right, William. Well, thank you for checking in. Can you come again one time nice and slow so I can try to write it down here?
No worries, buddy. Sorry about that. The call sign is Kilo November 6, India, Quebec, Alpha. Name is William through EchoLink.
William, thanks for checking in. And it looks like you're also a fairly new ham. Welcome aboard. Lots to do here and enjoy I'm only, a year old, being a ham, a little over a year now. So dig in and enjoy it, and you're already checking in through EchoLink. That's pretty cool. Anybody else checking in? New folks, new hams, first-time visitors?
AG6BI, trying again.
AG6BI, welcome aboard. What are you up to?
Nothing much. Tried about 4 times. I think I was stepping on people trying to call in for early check-in and never seemed to make it through. So who knows what evil lurks.
The 2-meter way.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks joining us nowadays, so it does get a little packed up, but we're trying to work on that. And there's always NetLogger. If you download, it's a free app. Go to NetLogger, and you can check yourself in beforehand. So that helps us out quite a bit. Anything new up your way?
No, I joined the club last week, and this is my second week, I think, on the 2-meter crew. Great listening.
All right, well, very good having you. And this is W6CRP for ID. Anybody else, first-time visitors or new hams?
Net control. Please check in at K4NCU. That is Kilo 4 November Charlie uniform. My name is Mike, and I'm located in Gaston County, North Carolina. Over.
Hey, Mike. I am getting you nice and clear from Gaston County, North Carolina. That's a ways out, and thanks for reaching out and touching us today. What are you up to?
Not up to a whole lot this evening. I'm sure everybody's still staying quarantined like we are over here. But I do want to mention this. I really enjoy watching you guys. I've been watching you on YouTube and do really enjoy your club. Do wish our clubs over here were well coordinated and organized like you guys do your clubs over there. It seems like the guys here can't get along, so they all make different clubs. So, but I do enjoy listening to you guys, and thanks for what y'all do for the hobby. If we lived closer, we would come visit. But with that, I'll say 73s, and good hearing you guys, and thank y'all. K4 and see you.
Hey, thanks for that, Mike. And yeah, we just got lucky. You know, there's a whole handful of folks that kind of make this happen, and it just grows every week. Pretty fun to keep it going. Okay, any other first-time visitors or new hams?
Kilo India 6, India, Juliet, India.
KI6IJI, how are you doing today?
Not doing too bad, just trying to be good to the world, and I'm glad I'm able to check in. This is Gary, Golf Alpha Romeo Yankee in Citrus Heights, California.
Yeah, Gary, we can all probably use a little bit more of that, just being kind right now. Everybody's sheltering in place, stressing out a little bit. We'll get through it. Thanks for checking in. Anybody else, new hams or first-time visitors?
WA4PEQ, Crystal River, Florida.
WA4, was that PEQ?
Yes, it was, WA4PEQ, Papa Echo, Quebec. The name here is Chuck, and just getting ready to go to bed, and went ahead and picked up the phone, looking at a couple of things before I went to bed, and I saw you guys were on, so I decided I'd check in.
Well, thanks for that from the other side of the country. Pretty cool with all the different technologies these folks are putting together for us. So Mike and Jason and Nick got us on all different kinds of modes here, and I appreciate you checking in. Stay safe out there. Anybody else, new hams or first-time visitors?
Kilo 8 Juliet Echo Kilo. John from Ohio, Newham.
Kilo 8 JEK. John, Newham, how are you doing?
Pretty good. Still being quarantined here in the state. Been got a little bit of rain, snow, and sleet today. It's about 35 degrees right now. Want to have you guys stay safe so we can all get out of this, and health to everybody. I'll be out on the next go around.
Yes, sir, John. You stay safe too. It was kind of warming up this week. We hit, I think, about 80 here in Walnut Creek today. So finally getting a little bit of warmth and sheltering in place and having to wear a face mask if you do go out in the public now. But take care and thanks for checking in. Any other new hams or first-time visitors? Okay, we'll cycle back after our updates and we get through our topics, and we'll have an open floor where the regulars can check in and see what they want to discuss. But we'll do some quick updates. Rodney, I believe you're on. Any website or other updates from yourself? WA6PKJ.
Hold on. Hold on, Roddy. Hold on. I got to get you in here. Can you hear me through Zoom?
Probably should get the YouTube live stream up in front of me and see what you're doing to me, huh?
Well, I'm not hearing Zoom right now, so I just got to make sure. Aha. Okay. We got you.
Okay.
We got you, Rod.
Great.
Go ahead.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Thanks, Jason. Whoa. Okay, Carlos. Got old cars running around here apparently. Just a couple quick things. So one, we've got 280 new registered 2-meter crew members. So that just keeps going up and up and up. And then the other thing I wanted to mention about the website, I'm really having a good time with Zoom here on our net meeting nights on Wednesday. I think it's really cool. And so I'm working on a way to have Zoom sessions on the website. And the idea behind that is that people can go up and say they want to talk about something, about antennas or something, or a problem they're having. They can go on, they'll be able to go onto the website, list the Zoom meeting as a future event, and then when that time comes, they'll kick off, and the Zoom meeting between hams will happen right on the website. So that's my idea about integrating Zoom for people to have their own Zoom, individual hams to set up potential Zoom sessions and then have them happen right on the website. So that's one thing I'm looking into right now, and it's pretty promising. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks a lot, Carlos. Jason, WA6PKJ.
All right, very good. KM6FAK, over you, Carlos. Yeah, I had my computer muted, and then I get his audio through. So just everyone that's out there listening and wondering what the heck is going on, that was our friend Rod up in Sebastopol, and he's just using Zoom on his, I think he's on a tablet. And so that is then coming to me, and then I pipe it into the radio and out on YouTube.
That's right.
Pipe it across the air. So yeah, Jason working his magic. He's got more than a few buttons and dials to run back there. So thank you for that, sir. Let me see, Facebook and YouTube. Haven't heard from Derek here in a little bit. Are you on today by any chance? K6DJV. Well, the Facebook continues to go strong. I pop on there once in a while to see what everybody's posting up. Looked like Derek was up on Mount Vaca here last, doing a little long distance. I believe he was into Susanville with the Saggy Yagi that he's built and hanging it off the back of the Green Donkey. So still keeping Simplex alive out there, Derek. How about anybody else? Any DXing reports, long distance work? I know we're all sheltering in place, but anybody putting up new antennas and having good luck? Come now.
I got something, if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Rod has something. Go ahead, Rod.
Yeah, I got an email from one of our crew members, K7CD, TJ, today. And it seems that NOAA has updated their propagation for the next cycle. And I took a peek at it, and it looks, their prediction is it's going to be very similar to the last cycle. So for those that have been keyed into whoops. Was that a boo?
That was a boo.
Oh, yeah. So it looks like we might be in for some halfway decent propagation by 2025. I know that's bad news, but the good news is it doesn't look like it's going to be worse than the last one. And a lot of people were predicting that. So for all you HFers out there, just hang in there for a couple of years and we'll be right back at it. Thanks a lot.
All right. Well, I guess I'll be in my 40s or 50s then. At least we'll have more radio gear. Buy everything now, and we'll be so ready. KM6FAK. Back to you, Carlos.
Yeah, thank you much for that update, Rodney. Let me see. We've heard from Jason on a couple of updates. Hey, Chris, how's our net logger looking? Any updates there?
Yeah, N6CMB Chris here in Clayton, California. We had, about 29 check-ins tonight, early and new. That's pretty cool. And we're, right now, our kind of running log is probably well up over 71 kind of unique check-ins. So looking good on the net logger front. Thanks for those that checked in early to streamline the process. Let's keep it going.
Yeah, that's a lot of folks watching, so very cool. All right, I'm going to circle over to our topics for tonight. And Mr. Justin has volunteered to talk about some audio basics. So first of all, I truly appreciate folks stepping up to share something with the group, spread a little knowledge, give us something interesting to listen to. So KM6ZTH, take it away, sir. And I like the hat.
There, guys. I thought tonight we might talk a little bit about audio. And to do that, I thought we'd cover a little bit of the basics. So without further ado, why don't we share a little bit of screen here. That's going to be this guy. And to really start us off, let's talk about the connectors that we see. RCA connectors, we're all fairly familiar with these. They used to be the yellow, red, and white, and black on the back of your TV. They are a 2-pole connector. And they're not that great, but they are a necessary evil sometimes. They are what's called an unbalanced connector. And that's something we need to think about as we manipulate audio back and forth between a few things. So let's look at a balanced connector. This is a 3.5 millimeter or a 1/8 jack, as most of y'all might know it. It's also known as a TRS, tip ring sleeve. It comes in the 1/8 3.5 millimeter, comes in the 2.5 millimeter, and it comes in 1/4 inch. I'm sure there's other sizes too, but these are fairly common things. However, most of the time, even though this is a balanced connector, it's not run as a balanced connector. Quite often, it's run as a unbalanced connector, running left-right. And we'll talk a little bit more about how those things work a little bit. This here's a mono connector, or a tip sleeve, a TS connector. It's very much like the RCA. It's this particular one's the 3.5 millimeter. And we keep talking about the tip and the ring. Well, what we're talking about when we talk about that is, let's go back to the TRS. The tip, nothing but the tip there, is one connection. Then we've got the ring in that little section there. And this last bit here, which is where you usually put the ground, that is the sleeve. In a left-right connector, this is usually the left, the right, and then this is a shared ground between the two. In this connector, we just have, well, kind of hot and cold, so positive, negative. So we lose a few things. Same deal here with the RCA. We have the tip, and I think it's essentially the sleeve, but that outer ring is what touches there. Where places we see these on the Kenwood or the Baofeng adapters, right? The trick here is that there are two different sizes. We've got the 2.5 millimeter, and we have this is the 2.5 millimeter, and this is the 3.5 millimeter. And they each serve a different purpose. If I was really prepared, I'd be able to tell you which one of those is the mic and which one of those is the headset, but I'm not that prepared. Over here, we have the tip ring sleeve connector, probably the most modern and familiar connector most of us have. This is what most of your smartphones have. A lot of modern laptops, instead of having both a headphone and a mic jack, have this shared connection. These are not as straightforward as others are. You can do some logic and some data, because now you've got different places you can go back and forth across. But again, the concept is still the same, that you have a tip, you have a ring, and then this little section here is the sleeve. Now let's talk about a professional connector. I work in broadcast, and this is the most common audio connector I work with. This is the XLR. This is the bottom of a lot of microphones. It is a locking connector, one of the reasons I'm a fan of it, and it is also a balanced connector. So unlike those other TRS, this is actually running a positive, a negative, and a ground. Depending upon your setup, these pins may vary as to which one's 1, 2, and 3. It's always worth double checking your pin outs to verify exactly what you want. I'm usually a big fan of everything digitally, but lately I've been finding myself that when I'm trying to wire up something, I grab a pad of paper and I just draw it out real quick. Make sure I have it noted down that pin 1 is going to whatever else it's going to. But that's an XLR male. And apparently I got rid of the XLR female connector. Nope, there it is. Haha. Again, locking connector, they pair together quite nicely. But some things that I found, and we'll get into why I'm talking about audio a little bit here as to how I'm actually dealing with audio right now. With a lot of our radios, especially if they're mobiles or base stations, we actually have to deal with connectors that are designed for data or phone. So what we have up first is what most people know is the Modular Jack. A lot of people would call the RJ11, but this is actually an RJ12. It has 6 pins, unlike your standard phone connection, which only has 4. And an example of this is, here's the pin out for the FT-991A using those 6 pins and what they mean. Now, you may not need all of those features that they've built into a hand mic, but you may need some of them to interact with a few other things. So being aware of your pinouts and what's actually available on those pinouts is a very important thing. So make sure you take time, do the research, and really understand what you're connecting to what. Here we have the ever popular RJ45 network connections. Everybody seems to think that these are universal, and unfortunately, it's back to the same thing. Not all network cables are created equal. There are different types. There are different reasons to use different types. Even though this is for the hand mic and it is not shielded, a lot of RJ45s that we use in ham radio are shielded. But there's different layers of shielding that go within those. So be very aware of what you're using. This is an 8-pin connector, and that is for my ICOM IC7100. This is a connector probably most of you have not seen. This is a connector that I am using, and you'll see shortly, called a Phoenix connector or a Euro block. And the beauty of this bad boy is on top there are 3 little screws, and you just sit the wires in there. There's no soldering. There's no, if you mess up, it's easy to move it around. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. You can do little jumpers. They're great. They, however, do come in various sizes. So usually whatever device that has a Euro block on it, you don't lose those connectors. You'll be hurting trying to find ones that are the exact size that fit with it. So be very cautious of that. Talking about connections, this is the back of the IC7100 head that I've got. And what I'm using here is a mono out of the speaker, and that is feeding what I'm getting all of my audio mixed through right now. I'm not using a traditional mixer like Jason's using to produce this. It's called a DSP, a digital signal processor, and it allows me to do various matrices and things. Now, I've just gotten it up and running, so I would say it's probably right on par with Jason and a mixer. But when all's said and done, I should be able to trigger presets. I should be able to have different mutes and to send different signals different places. So I have the speaker coming out, and then off of the RJ45 here, which was normally where the mic goes, I have the mic in as well as the push to talk coming into it. And this is the radio that if I were to transmit over the repeater, and I'll do that real quick here, KM6ZTH. That is allowing me to PTT through this. And then the last is the control cable that actually runs down to the radio. On this radio, the Yaesu FT-991A, I've got the mic jack, which is using that RJ12. Again, similar concept. I need the mic and I need the PTT. Didn't really need all the DTMF and everything. At least right now I don't. We are using, well, there's the antenna connection, power, and then another speaker out. And that is all feeding this. This is the Symmetrix Jupiter 8x8 DSP. It is not the greatest thing on earth by any means, and as you can see, I've got a hack job of wiring going on here. But again, I'm just experimenting. I'm having fun. I'm trying to use the parts and pieces I have laying around and at my available fingertips. I don't want to go spend a couple grand on a DSP. I want to use what I can find easily. And then last but not least, all of this allows me to have different signals, like the microphone I'm on, come in, send it to any of these devices, and I have all of it being mixed through one speaker. Now, to control that, I control it on software. So, big picture, I will be using software to control it right now, but I'm going to be able to put some controls in there eventually. So we're going to stop sharing this screen and jump over to the other computer.
I should KM6FAK here, by the way, with KM6ZTH. Let me let the repeater breathe here. Okay, very good, Justin. Take it away.
Have the Symmetrix controls, and like right now, if I hit this magic button,
we can't hear you.
Boy, that's right. That's the mute. That was on purpose. So I have a workflow of things. These are my inputs. It's really hard to see, even for me. This is actually probably larger for most of you than it is for me. It's a tiny window. This is old software. But I have them labeled. This is my mic. This is the Yaesu coming in. I've got my work MacBook hooked up to this, so I've got a left and a right for it. I've got the IC 7100, and I've got room for 3 more input channels. I've got mutes for each of them. I've got EQs for each of them. I've got expanders. I've got dynamics. I've got a feedback fighter, most of which I'm not going to use. Showing you a little bit of it. We've got an EQ. And the beauty here is if you actually EQ your audio, we aren't going to get into all that today, but big picture, if you figure out how to get full rich sound and generate a really nice sound and you EQ it just right and everything, and then when you compress it and try to get out over the air, you become the clear signal that's breaking through all the traffic. So having some different audio tonality and controls is a good thing. Dynamics, that's a fun thing. Compressors are a good thing. As you can see, I'm overdriving the mic a little bit to get this, but that's also what gives me a full sound. I want to use a little bit of compression. I don't want to just barely be tipping the hat. And this is different than the compression that we use on our radios. Similar concept, but different. All right, all of that ultimately feeds into a matrix. So in this matrix, I can adjust levels to what are called submixes. So in this first submix, I can send, and the first submix happens to be my speaker. So I'm sending it the microphone, the radio, the computer, and the other radio. And like right now, I probably should turn off the Mac, and now I'd only hear the repeater instead of the Zoom call. But I probably need to keep hearing the Zoom call. So I have control over what I hear and I don't hear and what I send to these different devices. And that's my initial submatrix. And then I can have, instead of these being designated to specific radios, I could have different types of groupings with different theories behind them. For instance, here's one, again, for like the speaker that's, I want everything. I just want to hear everything I've got coming in. But maybe another one's a cheater way to do crossband repeat. Maybe you're not even going crossband if you've got enough distance between your antennas. Not likely, but you could be just doing audio only between 2 radios. And you know, there's a lot of logic and things that you can build into this to make these go forward. So then back over here, we have the submixes, and the submixes are where you assign them to the designated output. So what we are doing is sending specific signals to those. Now, you'll notice everything I've done has been right around 0. There's not much adjustment there. There's EQs for the outputs. We aren't using speakers, so we don't have that. There is compression. Might be good to run compression on certain outputs. In my case, I'm running it just on this input because that's all I think I need right now. A limiter is a hard cut to make sure you don't go over something. Can be good, but it can also be bad. But the outputs, and we're going to go to... let's go to the outputs. Now, here's where I have different levels. And there's a reason I have different levels. That's because all those different connectors we talked about and all those different things operate at different levels. So those different levels are, in general, professional audio, big mixers, things that use an XLR that are not a microphone, and a variety of other things are what are considered plus 4 dB. Consumer products, very much like our laptops, our phones, and a variety of other devices we might use to get audio in and out, use minus 10 dB. So there's a difference, but it's okay. But mic level is completely different. It's much closer to minus 60. So what I've got going on over here is I'm only dropping this down 12 dB to hit the 2980 and the same to hit the 7100, but I'm running them also at the minus 10 level, and I have the gains on the microphone ends on these turned way down. Now that's the cheater way because I'm just playing it very safe right now and making sure I don't overload and overdrive things. But in the proper way to do it, I'm going to have to build circuits. I'm going to have to build transformers. So I'm going to need to, I'm going to convert from line level. And in the case of this device, I might as well go with +4 and drop it all the way down to -60. Now, I've got to do my research on connections and things, and I may decide to go with the -10 since I have the setting here to go with it. But the point is, I need to adjust my audio so that the things that are coming in and out make sense, that they are more in the middle of where we send signals. Being in the middle gives us room to go down, gives us room to go up. It gives us a lot more expansion. And I'm going to make sure I post over on the YouTube a link to an audio company called Sweetwater. And they have a really good description that goes a lot further in depth about these types of connections and their values of what they are, because they're not measured all the same way.
We've lost audio on the repeater.
Yeah, I think my radio is getting pretty hot.
6 CMB, we're working on the audio now. It is an audio presentation, so one of those little tiny wires might need to get hooked up again.
Stop it, Chris.
Well, I can cheat and transmit
From here. So this is KM6ZTH simulcasting across Zoom and the repeater because of what I've got set up. So we'll post a link to this Sweetwater diagram in the YouTube. I'll jump on there in a second and post it. But it's a great resource trying to explain those difference in those values. It's just really imperative when you're trying to figure out how or why you hook something up to understand how or why you're hooking it up. So the more you know, the better off you're going to be and the less like you are to smoke your radio. KM6ZTH.
Thank you very much, Justin. That was pretty cool and in-depth. I did not recognize many of the basics that you showed us. I appreciate that. Anybody have questions for Justin?
There is one. Mike in the chat wants to know, is the software free to download?
So we'll do that again.
So the software
for the Jupiter 8 is free.
But the hardware it connects to is not. There's a lot of different stuff out there. Free software is a great way to go, but at the end of the day, you do need hardware to process all of this, whether it's a matrix or something else. There's a lot of providers out there that can get you stuff. I personally
am a big fan of supporting local businesses that deal with audio. They are who support our other local businesses to make sure it happens. It's not a straightforward thing. Audio gets done in a myriad of ways, and making sure we keep a lot of audio businesses around is a good thing. So my number one thing to do would be I wouldn't go to the big guys if you cannot go there. I'd go find your local company.
And that is that is called, the hardware is called Jupiter, right? Oh, I have you through Zoom.
Is that's the model. The manufacturer is Symmetrics. There's a whole bunch of DSPs. To be frank, if I had my perfect setup, I would actually be running a Yamaha QL1 in this room. I'd have to have a lot of space, and that's like a $7,000 mixture. But the beauty to it is you get flying faders at your fingertips. There's a lot of things that come with that. So with this DSP, I'm actually going to be building a touch screen that allows me to get the control to control all of those things. But that's stuff I do in my day-to-day job. So it's my way of bridging my hobby and my day-to-day.
All right, very cool. Yeah, we actually we're currently working on a few things behind the scenes. Just as a teaser, in the next few weeks, we're going to have a bit of a kit available, and that's through Ken's Pro Sound there if you're on YouTube watching. He is a local ham and a local vendor of multiple manufacturers, and the idea is you might want a boom, you might want a mixer, whether software or hardware, And being this guy's a ham, he can also build you a custom cable for your radio, because sometimes that is the catch-22. So anyways, just wanted to throw that teaser out there for the next couple weeks. This is KM6FAK with KM6ZTH. Yo, need volume.
I need a boom mic, as you can see, handheld here, and trying to jot notes and run computers. It gets to be a bit, I don't know how Jason keeps up.
Well, I missed the audio there.
All right, I think we'll move on to KM6FAK. Jason, you were going to share a little SDR information.
Yeah, I was. I wanted to share somewhat short and sweet. I think a lot of people, if they're in the hobby for a couple months or a year, they might already know this, but want to throw this out. But why don't you see if there's any new individuals out there? They've never ran across us, they've never checked in, and they'd love to throw their call out and say hi. Why don't you take some RF check-ins or the digital modes I have floating on the screen while I get some things set up?
Absolutely. And so anybody, one of our newer first-time visitors or second-time visitor, but just want to chat, or new hams especially, come now, check in.
K6FX.
Is that FOX or FNX? Come again, please.
Ben. It's Ben.
Yep, K6FNX. K6FNX, Ben, Rio Linda.
Hey, Ben. What are you up to tonight? Anything you wanted to share with the crew?
No, I just wanted to check in there for once. I hadn't checked in here in quite some time, so I figured I'd give it a try through DMR here, using the open spot and a little, MD380 handheld, checking in here. So I've got nothing else to share. I just thought I'd try this mode tonight, K6FNX.
All right, Ben. Well, thanks for checking in. Yeah, no, I recognize your call. Just haven't heard from you in a little bit. I've been off the air a little bit, though. This shelter in place has me doing all the honeydews around the house in my free time. Anybody else want to check in right now? First-time visitors, second-time visitors, or new hams?
How about an old one?
Yeah, we can take an old one. Go ahead, Mitch.
Okay. Hey, good evening to the 2-meter crew. Jason, looking good back there, buddy, and I like your hat. Hey, real quick, I just wanted to mention that Rod had mentioned something about propagation. Just wanted to run this by everybody very, very quickly. Was up all night long, a couple nights back on the 19th, and at 6:24 a.m., with a 5.9 plus signal coming out of the Philippines. I spoke to DU2MIC in the Philippines on 40 meters. So let me just tell you, the truth is with propagation, if you get out there and your radio's on and you call CQ, you're going to be really amazed. Yeah, the fish finders are great, but yeah, trust me, propagation's out there and it's wonderful. So y'all have fun with the hobby. It's great. Yeah, Philippines, Hawaiian Islands, even out the outback of the Alaskan tough guy lands. It's all over the place. Yeah, thanks, Carlos, and thanks to the VVR system and all the pulls, switches, and knobs and things you guys do back there. Great stuff. Thanks, Carlos. WUNQ.
Yeah, thank you, Mitch. And Justin, look like you have something you want to share.
Yeah, I have to agree with Mitch. I think the best thing we can all
I'll be doing right now. I know I've been busy with spending time with the family and not
spend time in the ham check.
spend all day out here doing work with everything else. I think it's a great idea to just get out and get on the air. KM6ZTH.
I like his Zoom better than his RF.
You don't know what what's out there until you do, propagation or not. You reach out, especially around this local area. It's been kind of a hot and heavy hub. There's always someone to get out there and talk with. And Mr. Jason, are you ready to share some SDR with us? And this is W6CRP for ID.
Yes, I am ready. I am ready. Let me drop this here screen. Let me 1 sec. Alrighty. This is KM6FAK, and the broccoli rubber band is saving my left hand. I'd love to get a foot switch, but my feet don't touch the ground. No, I'm not a short person. It's like a bar stool in here in the shack. Anyways, I love bringing these guys up. They're fantastic. My favorite place to shop, MTC Radio. They're still running their incredible deal on the 7300. But a week or so ago, I wanted to tell and show everyone this page, and I was just short to pull it up. But you could enter in your name, your call sign, what you got. They're going to come back with a price. So in other words, if you're interested in selling a radio, you can see what they'll offer you, give you cash towards a new radio, or then they also have a page to go with that. Used radios. So how cool is that? And, being they're all hams, they get them, they go through them, they make sure they work. So I thought that was pretty neat to kind of see for a store to do. Alrighty. So yeah, let's just touch on some SDRs for a second. A lot of us probably have some kind of radio scanner app on the phone. We listen to local police or fire or local airport, etc. And a lot of that is done through Broadcastify, a giant company. Broadcastify and Radio Reference actually are in the same family, come to find out. So that was pretty interesting. And if you didn't know, maybe you will know now, but this repeater we're on right now, W6VVR, is on Broadcastify. So live streaming all the time, and that is done over at a local ham's house through AllStar, which is way cool. And then recently we also got K6POU up, another repeater to listen to on Broadcastify. So that's pretty neat. You can jump on there, search for that, look that up. And I just wanted to share kind of what that takes, how that works. So what you're looking at here is AirSpy. AirSpy is a manufacturer of a free software that will run multiple different dongles. And you can tune it in, adjust it all, and you can see you got waterfalls. You can trim audio there. There's a lot of settings. Not going to dive into that tonight. And what does that look like? Well, how about an old computer from 2012 and some USBs and some audio jacks going in and out? I mean,
I couldn't hear what you said.
Good Lord. And so you don't need much. And then what's plugged in? Well, this little dongle here. Now, I went looking on Amazon and I don't see it, but you know what? You can't find anything on Amazon right now because you know what? But this little dongle, it's like $30. It doesn't come with the USB extender. That's how it's getting across to where it needs to be. But it does come with that metal aluminum cased dongle, and you install it into your computer. And then it also comes with, kind of hard to see, but a little tiny tripod with telescoping whips. Yep, that's how it's bringing in the signal. Not the prettiest. That's also a great way to get your cables out of your shack. I use a garage vent, and that's kind of fun. But yeah, so that's kind of local stuff. VHF, UHF. The dongle will work on HF as well. I haven't really gone into that much, but I will say this: the next thing I need is a can. I don't know if you guys know what that is. So a canister. Let's see, radio. Should have had this picture ready for everybody. Let me see if I'm saying it right. A canister. Google is not being my friend. Let me reset the repeater. There it is, KM6FAK. Anyways, a canister is oftentimes used up at a repeater site. And what that will do is allow other things not to transmit into it. So, the second I key up on anything VHF, see you later, SDR, if that's what you're... if you're on VHF kind of thing. And one last thing, I want to show Today on the way home, I was chatting with Chris, really nice guy, local here in my area, and he was not aware of this. So I wanted to let everyone know, if you go to a website, www.websdr.org. So once you go here on this .org, you'll see a whole list of different web SDRs that other people are providing. You can also scroll down here to the bottom. And some of you, this might be a review, so I'm going to try to keep it really quick. You got a really cool map, so you can see where they're all sitting. But I can tell you, even if you're not out west here, my two favorite ones are the Northern Utah and the KFS, and that's there in Half Moon Bay, San Francisco. So really good receivers. They actually have similar equipment as far as the antenna. That's a whole nother topic of what they're using, how they do it. They have the Utah group has a Facebook page, which they kind of go behind the scenes, and that's really neat to see. So if you've not been there, I definitely recommend you to check it out. And here, let me bring up Half Moon Bay. Half Moon Bay uses one landing page, where Utah utilizes multiple browsers, and that's because they're running multiple computers. I believe Utah is a larger system. They got a lot more stuff going on. But that said, I've never seen KFS here crash or go down. And very quickly, there we are. There are the waterfalls. And, if you're kind of new to this, you'll quickly look at and you'll realize, oh, look, 40 meters is coming in. There's 80 meters. That's looking pretty good. And if you scroll down a little lower here, you'll see 20 meters isn't so hot. Well, that's kind of, that is very much for on course, on track for what time it is right now in the day where we are. So anyways, really neat tool to use. A lot of different buttons and features. I'll let you tool around that, but I just wanted to bring that to people's attention if they weren't aware. Again, this is KM6FAK, and I'm letting go with my broccoli rubber band.
Thank you, Jason. Good info, and I really like the way you are bringing it up behind you. It helps a lot of us newbies see what we're looking for and get down some basics. So thank you to both of you, Justin and Jason, for sharing tonight. And folks out there, you don't have to be an expert to share something on the net. If you post it up either on Discord or the 2 Meter Crew website, let me know if you've got something you think would be interesting to share, and we will definitely put you in, help you out, do whatever you need to post something up. We're always looking for different interesting stuff, different points of view. So W6CRP, again, for ID.
That is a good point real quick. I need to get that in the comments. So yes, we recently, just this last week, started Discord. If you're familiar with that, you should be able to find us, 2MC/HRTV. We'll get some links out there, like in the chat. I'll have to share a link so you can go and grab. And the idea is we wanted to open this up to everyone that wants to know, what are we chit-chatting about. We've kind of also developed this to a spot where we can start testing things and talking about the upcoming net. So right, exactly what Carlos said. If you ever want to bring anything to us, however you want, Zoom, RF, digital, that's a great place to start to chat. So check that out. If you're not in a Discord, it's also pretty cool. It's always fun to be open to new digital stuff.
Yes, thank you for that. I was going to check in with a couple other the core members who are always up and doing stuff, see if they had anything to drop in for us. Let's see, Nick, KN6DAL, are you still out there and anything to share with the crew today?
Thanks, Carlos. KN6DAL. Yeah, I'm just kind of here in the shack, fiddling around with a bunch of new stuff. I got a 991A a few days ago. Got that set up, and I'm working on a computer that I just picked up to try to get a little bit smoother viewing when I'm on the Zoom and doing different things. So that's about it for now. But there's some stuff in the works, and I'll
I'll disclose that once I get all the things that I need to keep setting up the shack. I feel like it's a never-ending battle, but there's a lot of people that are out there helping me keep the communication lines open, and it's exciting just to play ham radio every day. So, yep, with that, I'll send it back to you. Thanks for hosting the net tonight, Carlos. KN60AL. Yeah, have fun with your new toys there. I'm jealous. And how about Mike, WG5EEK, the one that keeps our different digital nodes and such up and working. Are you with us tonight, Mike?
I don't think he is. He mentioned something earlier that good chance he wasn't going to make it. So I'll go ahead and give him a missed late check-in.
All right, that's fine. One more time for new hams or first-time visitors. You guys want to check in real quick before we'll kind of roll over to an open format, let folks check in, let us know what they're doing after that, and probably open up Zoom. But one more call for first-time visitors or new hams.
N6CMB, I gotta see if I can draw someone out, Carlos, if you let me.
Yes, sir. Take it.
Our young pirate friend Brian, Brian with one eye, he's a young guy, still in high school. He hangs out with us on the 3-3 and holds his own amongst all the crotchety old men who talk there. That guy is like every day taking his gear, jumping in his truck, and going to find a spot to try to make some contacts on HF. So I want to call him out if he's listening, especially if he's on the radio here. Brian, just give us a quick rundown on the gear you're running when you're out trying to make those contacts daily, because it's very cool you're out there doing that. You're making it happen instead of just talking about it.
All right. KN6VNQ, a.k.a. Thalia, in the comments. Yeah, so I am running a Yaesu FT-991A, this little 6-watt QRP rig. I wish I had 100, along with a brand new Wolf River Coils TIA, Tango India Alpha, mini. It's a 10 through 40 meter coil with a 102-inch telescopic whip. So I've been going out to different parks in my town, because somehow my town's still having things like parks open with this whole, thing going around. So today I actually went to the local senior center, sat a tree for a couple of hours, and managed to pull an Oregon contact and
All right.
I think an Oklahoma contact. I'll have to go back and look at the call signs on QRZ. But I recently bought that new antenna, and it works great. I mean, I thought the MFJ 1899T telescopic whip antenna did magic. My God. Seems I can't get out of the state with this new antenna. I've only been getting California contacts there. But, yep. Watching the live stream on the computer, on Discord on my phone, and my Baofeng in my other hand. So, KN6VNQ, yeah, I'll slide back into the darkness.
That was Discord, everyone. That's what I was just showing.
Brian,
so
thank you
jump
for
in,
sharing, and
share your photos, share your
golden,
stuff.
Man. That's the new hams out there energetic.
Motivate all of
it
us.
Going,
That's right.
Exploring, you're passing me already. But excellent job, and it's always good to hear from you on the air. All right, I'm going to roll back to Jason to see what you want to do with Zoom, and then we'll take some open check-ins and chit-chat, see what's on folks' minds.
East Mississippi. Name is Ray. First time checking in here. Just got through programming you guys in my radio.
Excellent, from Mississippi, and thank you for jumping in. I think I might have been talking over the first part of it, or I didn't catch it. Can you come again with the call sign, please?
Yes, the call is Kilo 5, United Zulu Zulu, K5UZZ, the name is me. And we located here in northeast Mississippi, a little town of New Albany there. Back over.
Yeah, way out there and reaching in. Thank you very much for checking in to the Anti-Net. And what do you have going on down there that's interesting? All right, Ray. Well, thanks for checking in. Jason, did you want to talk about Zoom, see what we're going to do there, and then I'll open it up for check-ins and chit-chat.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm loading up the link now. I'm going to drop it in the YouTube chat. So if you're watching YouTube, go check that out. Thumbs up is always much appreciated. But feel free. We open up Zoom, the door, and let the floodgates begin. From here, we like to just kick things around on the repeater for just another, well, till it gets, I don't want to say boring. We'll kick it around the repeater for a little bit, and then we'll pull off the repeater and probably just keep hanging out in Zoom, what we've been typically doing. So this is kind of just an open forum now on the repeater, KM6FAK.
All right, thanks, Jason. So yeah, you can go to the YouTube
double.
site and pick up the link if you want to jump on Zoom. And I will call around, open the floor, see if folks have stuff to share. But first and foremost, I'm going to give a shout out to KN6DAL/Molly. How are you doing, Miss Molly?
Hi, I think I might.
She hears herself. We hear ya.
Yeah, I hear myself.
I know it's hard.
Yes, you do. And thank you for checking in. I always enjoy seeing you up there helping your dad run the shack there. So have a good evening. I'm going to open the floor up. Anybody have stuff they want to share with the crew or check in here?
AM6, YKX, quick check-in.
Jeez,
Rob, how are you this evening? What are you up to?
I'm excellent. Hi, Molly. I can see you on video. I'm just, enjoying radio.
I see you too, Molly.
And if you guys can't tell, Miss Molly is our youth that brings joy to this ham crew very much. Anybody else checking in with something to share?
That was cool, Molly.
Cam6TAX, just saying hi. Enjoying ham radio.
Ted, good evening. How are you doing? You sheltering in place okay over there with pot roast and what are we calling your other son? Pork chop?
Meatloaf. Yep, just kind of hanging out and trying to stay safe, even though I almost think I might have got this thing back in November. I think it's been crawling around
Patient
the States
zero.
before they said, but we'll see. KM6TAX.
Test them.
Is that kid's name Pork Chop?
Better get them tested. Got those antibiotics.
Okay, my bad. Hey, how's it going, Ted?
What's up, Mitch?
Yeah, I think the more testing they do, the more they research, you're finding out it was around earlier than we thought. But, yeah, sheltering in place, working from home here, and it seems to take me a while to get it done all day. And like I said, then I don't have that commute time where I'm usually up on the radio, but I'm out in the garden getting it going and doing honeydews around the house, so it doesn't seem like I've been on the radio a whole bunch lately, but enjoying it and staying safe. Anybody else checking in? And I'll do W6CRP for ID.
Okay, it's 6BXX by EchoLink. How you guys doing?
We are doing good. How about yourself, Michael?
Hang in there. Just getting too much static on my radio, so I'm using EchoLink. I'll have to find the source of it. It might be somewhere outside the home. I'll get it figured out. Anyway, hi, Molly and Nick, and also Jason, with that SDR presentation, there's also the KPH SDR that's off at the, I think, Point Reyes KPH station. Not the best waterfall displays, but a lot of coverage, including if you guys like to listen to NavTex at 518 kilohertz per weather, or see the NavTex. They do have a decoding app and a few other things, too. So KPH SDR is pretty cool, too. I think it's part of the Kiwi system, too. So great job, Jason, Carlos, and the rest. It's great to see you on the video, too. And I got you, Carlos, in the game. K6XX730 all.
All right, very good, and take care. I see Fred on Zoom and on the live link walking around. I think that's you, W1FRD. You gonna check in with us? And he probably walked away from the mic. So, open floor. Go ahead, check in. Let us know what you're up to. Any questions anybody has on the presentations or anything else the 2-meter crew is doing. Come now.
N6CMB. I'm wondering how we can do a bit of a competition to see who's a bigger geek, our own Justin here or Brandon over in Hawaii, because those two guys are pretty talented guys. And thanks for the presentation, Justin. It was awesome, and learned a lot. I actually had a quick question for you, joking aside. Those little RJ45s and things everybody's using, they look pretty handy for different tasks. And I see a lot of guys running volts through them. Like, what kind of volts and amps can you put through one of those?
KM6 is the TH. It depends. They're not high amperage, but there are some new standards being developed that will allow you on an RJ45 to put about 100 volts. It really depends.
Sorry, Dan.
I personally wouldn't use much through it. It takes some good engineering
to do the
high voltage, low amperage feeds through them, and I definitely would be following IEEE standards when you're trying to look into what to do.
You don't give up. I muted everyone.
All right, the floor is open. Anybody else with comments or questions?
This is WB6WYF, Mike in Vacaville.
Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
I'm trying to find out if anybody remembers who the person out of Walnut Creek was that was looking to do some CW on 2 meters. I think that same answer I got last time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we've got Dave and we got, well, Ted's not really in Walnut Creek. Dave comes to mind the most.
Do you have his call?
KN6HTB?
Okay, was that you there?
Oh, this is Chris Netlogger. I seem to remember. I thought maybe Doug up in Vacaville might have been someone that I remember the conversation you did, but having a hard time putting a call against who it was that said they wanted to do it. KN6HTB, are you still on the line? Was it you who was talking a little bit about doing some of that CW work?
No, it wasn't me. I am trying to learn it, but no, I hadn't talked about it. Thank you, though.
Okay, well, thank you very much. You guys have a good evening. Appreciate it.
Who was looking to do some CW.
somebody.
For checking in and seeing if we can find out who that was, because I seem to remember the conversation. They did want to get involved and set something up, but maybe they're not with us for the past couple weeks. Anybody else?
You know, I'm thinking it might have been Doug. Doug is there in Antioch. His call is KI6UJH. Doug again in Antioch. KI6UJH.
I'll write that down, see if I can come across. Does he hang around the 3-3 machine or the other one?
Yeah, he's probably around 3.3 more than here, but he's an avid Parks on the Air guy. Really loves his CW just because how far he can make those transmissions. So I'm thinking that he was probably wanting to do some of that from his home since he's a teacher, so he's been teaching at home.
Thanks much. I'll see if I can catch up with him and see if he was the one. I'm just trying to set up something so we can practice a little on 2 meters.
KN60AL, let me see if I got it. So I have it written down, the gentleman, and I don't know his name. I can look it up here, but G4FON, I believe, was the person that made that comment. I have listed on the log here.
I was way off.
See, it's good to keep notes once in a while.
About 2 meters, CW.
Who's that kid?
G4FON, and the comment was CW training. He had mentioned that he was interested in maybe putting together something where a few people got together on 2 meters to maybe practice or put together some sort of meeting.
Confirm G4FON.
Yeah, that's
a breeze.
Golf 4 Foxtrot Oscar November.
That's a little fur for 2 meters, but thank you.
Bobby,
Now
you
I
still
know
in the
who it
chat
was.
room?
Thank you.
Bobby. Damn it, Bobby.
Is that Brian showing off the handheld there on video? B&Q?
Showboater.
Yeah, Bobby said who is the kid, but it's Brian with one eye, but it appears that he is two. So thank goodness for that.
This is the Woodland Kid.
All right. Making the trip on a HT. That's good stuff.
It works.
All right. I think if folks are done checking in with the net and so forth, I'll close the net and just leave it open for them. Everybody's up on Zoom, and we can just open the floor and let folks have a conversation. So this is W6CRP. I appreciate everybody joining us tonight for the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net.
A lot of ways to get a hold of us, like we shared. Leave us notes, suggestions.
And definitely, if
Not
you
yet.
present something interesting one of these times, let us know. So everybody have a good night, and I'll be hanging out here for a little bit, but we'll be closing the Anti-Net. W6CRP.
See you on the morning commute, bro.
Yeah, it's not too long. We kind of have a little in-law unit I've been using as my temporary office. So my commutes, get my coffee and take about 20 steps out to the other end of the property and into my home office.
I had to put chargers on my cars to keep the batteries from going dead.
That's very true. I don't know the last time I started my truck. Hopefully it'll kick over here for me.
Yeah, they have computers and stereos and stuff. You might want to throw a charger on it. N6CMB with a comment. Go ahead. Just
For note, net login tonight, we had 40 logins, and that made us reach 80 unique logins that we've had on the anti-net.
Oh, very cool. And thanks again for running that, Chris. And Jason, thank you as always for the live feed. Nick, Mike, even though you're not here, Justin, you guys keep it running, so thank you all.
Hey, Brian with an I, not a Y. There you are. Hey, are you a big Dwight Clark fan? I noticed a picture in your background. I got that same jersey, my friend. You want a couple pictures of the real deal?
No, that jersey's been up there since I was like 3 years old. No, my dad's the one that hung it up. He's a big old Niner fan. He wasn't recently, but then I became the big old Niner fan thanks to him. So, I've got a real deal Montana jersey, but no, the next one's going to be a Jerry Rice jersey. So hopefully those will go in a picture frame once I get a signature on both of them.
All right, youngster, you're way too cool, mister. Okay, so my other question is, I like that handy talkie antenna thing. Hey, so my other question is in the background to the right of my field of view. You got some pretty cool looking instruments up there. I've always wanted to learn. Oh, 3 of them. Holy Christ. Yeah. Hey, so if you can play an instrument, you have no excuses, my friend. You can definitely do CW because CW is nothing but music. But my real question is, Brian, can you play those awesome devices?
House, Mitch. Yeah. The red one would be a Epiphone version of a Gibson SG. I'm a big old AC/DC fan, so of course I'm going to have an SG. I just got a typical Fender acoustic right there in the middle. And then the right one, the black one, is another Epiphone Les Paul model. I used to be big into playing those guitars about, maybe a year and a half ago. And then the school year started up, and my God, I got hammered with homework this year. I thought senior year was supposed to be easy. My parents lied to me. So I just kind of took a break from those. So I'm trying to get back into it now that I'm staying home 24/7, being the typical lazy teenager, except I go out and play HF sometimes. So, KN6 to the NQ.
Yeah, well, how very, very cool, Brian. I got to tell you, I've always thought, I'm the kind of guy who plays the air guitar, thinks he's really cool, and, he's just off-key, can't make a good sound, but it all sounds good. You're actually playing with that thing. Well, I got to tell you, you got no excuse for not learning CW, my friend. I'm watching you squirm. Yeah, don't look back at those guitars. They ain't going to help you none. Anyway, Brian, really very, very cool, dude. And
you guys realize that
very, very cool.
Mitch can go on all night.
Jersey of that other guy.
I can always just do this. Where'd he go? Weird.
Anyway, good stuff, buddy. Hey, good hearing you. I'm gonna toss it off to somebody else before I got some other funny questions. But Brian, good to hear you, buddy, and that was good stuff. And keep up the good work with that HF antenna because you know what? You're gonna snag them, buddy. You're gonna snag them. Just keep doing what you're doing. Hey, I'm out of here. I'm gonna let someone else take it up. And hello, Miss Molly, wherever you went.
If he doesn't snag some contacts with that new HF rig, you can use that HT antenna as a fishing pole.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agree.
All right, I'm going to turn down the repeater. Let's say hello to everyone. I'm just going to unmute everyone. We'll see how loud everyone is unmuted, or you can continue to be mute. But real quick, I think we have my good friend Hayden. I think, is on his lunch, so let's go ahead and let him break in. What's happening, Hayden? How is the weather? Tell everyone where you're at.
Well, it's sunny. It's sunny at the moment. Yeah, just on lunch, and so I've been watching you stream in and out, and saw time to join in. So.
Someone take the darn microphone up and say something. How about you, Nick?
But yeah, it's good in Australia at the moment.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, Hayden is in Australia. Also runs.
I'm watching on live ham radio. Jason's got a Australian check-in going.
Yeah. So Hayden, I call Hayden my doppelganger. So I represent the northern hemisphere, and he represents the southern hemisphere as far as YouTube and ham radio. So definitely check out Hayden. He's doing very interesting stuff and different. He does a lot of microwave, which
Our channel names are very, very similar, and to be quite honest, yeah, I did steal the idea from you.
Because I'm still seeing all of your ugly mugs up there.
oh no, that's there's a saying about great artists and
That's probably Zoom I'm looking at. Like I got so many streams up, I don't know what's going on.
There we go. I muted Carlos. That was Carlos. Yeah, absolutely. Heck yeah. So what else is going on? Who else would like to say hello? We've got Dan and Bill and Chris and hello Mike. Mike is a returning friend of ours. And Bobby, oh, this is about to get crazy. Hey, I'm really sorry, guys. I'm about to hit accept. Here comes Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee's in the house. Hey, Hayden.
Molly.
I did want to thank you for that video you did on the MFJ 1026, the noise canceller. That was pretty handy to see someone I trust, tell me about it. So thanks for that one, dude.
I actually had someone borrow that off me the other day, and he's going to try it because he's got lots of HF noise at home as well. Have you got one, or did you try it, or?
I'm going to order one up after seeing that, and because I think even if you can just get rid of a little bit with it, I think it's worth it. It seems like it's pretty effective if you take the time. If you guys haven't seen it, there's a good video on it's the MFJ 1026, right, Hayden?
That's it. If you've got one constant source of noise, then it's effective against that. But if it's very broadband, it's not as effective. But every little bit helps. Yeah.
All right. Did Bobby make it in? I kind of jumped in the middle there when Bobby was joining us.
I think Bobby Lee made it in.
Hey, Bobby. Where'd you go?
Unmute your microphone.
Unmute yourself, Bobby. Come on, get in here.
Look.
I watched that.
What is Bobby Lee? He's muted and he's got his speakers off. Come on, brother.
Unmuted now.
Hi, Bobby Lee.
Running.
Thanks.
I'm trying to manage people's microphone. All right, Bobby, can you hear us? Can you talk?
I think he's listening to the repeater. We need to call him on the repeater.
Oh, it's good stuff. So who else would like to tell us something new? Brian, welcome, Brian. You're on the radio, but now you're here.
Yeah, I'm listening to both at the same time, so it's kind of weird.
That'll make you go crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say, Jason, who here's got an IC 7300?
I wish.
Who?
Am I going to be the only one?
A 73. There's a couple people here.
Yeah. Here, Mike. Hey, I got a question for the group with the new Discord account.
Yeah.
And actually another a question in addition, because I couldn't check in tonight. So I keep trying to add what is it? 2 meter crew, 2MC, and then a / HRTV. I'm not finding it. Is there an easy search for that?
That's for the Discord?
Yeah, for Discord.
Are you able to grab a link from YouTube comments?
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't see that there, but I guess it's up there now.
No, I'll reshare it. Let me.
Okay.
Yeah, let me get that because Discord is interesting. I mean, it's based around you can make it extremely private, but I'm being pretty foolish with everything so far, including Zoom. Let's let the door wide open.
Yeah.
And I hear myself back, so we've got a hi Bobby Lee monitoring Molly.
Yep.
There you go.
Your face is your moneymaker. So what?
Someone just started watching a YouTube. I heard an ad there firing
Yeah,
up.
that was me. I paused it to get, because that's where you posted the link, right?
Yeah, on the live stream because we're still live. Let me.
Anytime Bobby leaves.
All right. Yeah, looks like Hayden is going back to work. Well, that's no fun. What are your priorities?
I know. It's absolutely
Thanks
true.
for coming in.
Yeah, I'll spend more time next time when I've got a little bit more time.
Yeah, I want to hear about that. I think it was the 705 you had posted last week or something in your background. Are you beta testing that? Yeah, right there.
I contacted ICOM Australia, and it's the same deal as in America. It's delayed because of the virus. So when it arrives, then I'll be able to have a look at that unit. But I do have a 7300. That's what I said before in the mail. So I'm very excited to see that. So there might be a video on that soon.
There you go. Awesome. Well, thanks for coming in. Thanks for jumping in on your lunch break.
Thanks, guys. Got to go.
Good day.
I'll rate that.
Bobby Lee shot me a text. He said he's got some technical difficulties. He'll be back soon. I'm trying to swap cameras. There, I'm on a camera from this century. The other camera is super old.
This might be a record for us. 16 in the Zoom room.
Yeah. What do we got there?
You're welcome.
What would we do without Brian with one eye?
Not a why.
That's an inside joke for those that aren't aware, so Brian joining the repeater a few months or a year ago, I'm losing track, but remember his name, he would remind everyone that he only has one eye in his name. I don't know how it's spelled else. I guess there is a Y, right? That's what you're getting at? Yeah, so he would always remind us he has one eye, and I'm just thinking, like, gosh, I hope it's his right eye.
With one eye open.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're right-handed, that's your shooting eye.
We've got David. How's it going, David?
Oh, David. Okay.
He's got his audio muted.
Yeah, he's muted.
Got a lot of new faces on here tonight.
Yeah, David, WOWXL. Can you unmute? And would love to hear from you.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Enjoying all these new little toys here, having a good old time. Just been watching for the last few weeks, and it's really, really a blast.
Awesome. Thanks for jumping in. Where are you from, David?
I live in Concord now. I'm from Wisconsin and Minnesota and South Dakota and places like that. My call is my very first Elmer, who was out of Brainerd, Minnesota.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow, yeah.
That's a really good one, and it's a good reason to have it. That's pretty cool. Do you miss the snow and everything from Wisconsin and in that direction?
Oh, not in the slightest.
Yeah,
I've been in California since 1980, so I don't go back there unless it's a dire emergency.
Who else do we got new to Zoom that we haven't had in here? Bobby Lee's still muted and still not able to hear us, or what?
Let me
not seeing any reaction.
We had Dan. You've been on before, right? Weren't you in the back of your car the last time?
Me? No. Yeah. I was here.
Have you been on here before?
I was on last week for a little while. I didn't say much.
Okay, that's what it was.
I just started checking into Zoom for a CW class. And I think I might have talked about it in G4FON, which is a program, but I wasn't talking to anybody about getting on 2-meter.
No, somebody mentioned it on the repeater, and honestly, that call sign, I looked it up, and that was actually the gentleman that made a really generous donation on YouTube last week. That wasn't the CW guy. So if that was you asking that question, the call sign that I gave was wrong, and I don't know who it was. So I'm an unorganized note taker, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, the G4FON, that's just a practice program. I use that all the time, so I recognize it.
No, G4FON was the Australian guy, I'm pretty sure.
That might be the
I'm sorry, the one of the guys from overseas over in the UK. Not Chris, but the other guy.
That might be the guy who invented it. I don't know.
What about Chris Swanson? Chris, are you new to the Zoom group? Did you make it last week?
There, I'm unmuted, so.
There you are, Chris. We can hear you.
Sorry, making a mess here. Family's watching TV, so I'm trying to get out of the room. But yeah, I was on last week, chatted with you guys for a little bit, and then I got family stuff, so I had to run for a little bit. But yeah, I've been in and out with you guys for a while.
Welcome back. What have you been up to this week? Anything good in Ham World?
Well, trying to figure out why my HF antenna's got such a high SWR, but that's about it. Playing with a FT-991A that I got probably about 6-8 months ago. So getting that all set up, but
Isn't that what hams do every day? Chase noise on our HF antenna? I think that's an everyday event, right?
Yeah. I found out that neighbor solar cells are make a tremendous amount of noise when the sun's up.
Crazy. Everything makes noise, it seems.
Yeah.
How about KO4 or KO4CHN, Jim? Not sure if he's there.
Yeah, he's unmuted.
Yeah.
Whoop. He dropped it.
Justin, you were stress testing my radio earlier, just so you know.
Yeah.
I kept putting my hand on it going, all right, I think I felt it this hot before.
Yeah, that was a pretty long one. That repeater goes forever, man.
Yeah, how about that timeout timer?
How long is it? Do you know, Jason?
I think it's 10, 15 minutes.
Jeez.
I mean, how long did he go on for? We could probably go back and look.
Yeah, and time it.
Because YouTube will have the time, running on the bottom.
It feels like longer, but I bet he was on for like 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
3 could use that timer.
No, I once did some DFing. It was only for we had he was a great ham. KI6JNX. How can I forget Kim, local guy, forever ham radio guy, goes back long time. Anyways, he was single, and he would like to watch certain movies, and we figured it was him that had the mic. It was just keyed up. But you could tell it was like, he was sitting on it or something. It was ruffling around. And sure enough, there were certain noises you would hear to go with some of these movies. and I drove around listening on the input. And sure enough, I already knew where he lived. So I got close. And then I got out of my car and unscrewed the antenna because that's the only thing I had. So I unscrewed the antenna. Got to squelch all the way the opposite direction, and he was still just coming in strong as ever. So it's like, okay, I knew it was him. I call him, he didn't answer. I bang. Sure enough, he fell asleep on the couch. He's got adult films blaring, and it's on the repeater. So that was my DF story. In that repeater just won't reset. It just goes.
Bert's back, and Bert had a friend with him there, but she disappeared.
Oh yeah, my daughter just tried to come in. She was like, "Oh, I'm on YouTube now too."
She got the dance moves going.
Yeah.
Oh, Nick, you shrunk Molly.
Nick's got a few of them.
He's got 3.
I can't untoggle you. There we go.
Sorry. Yeah, this is Allie. Say hi to everybody, Allie.
Hi, everybody.
Hey there.
Hey. I'm not alone. At least there's another
Everybody
kid.
saw it, but Jim jumped in. KO4CHN. He does not have a microphone or camera, but he's here. So I don't know how he even knew that we said hi to him. But hello, Jim, if you're out there.
Well, he's got speakers.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, he's I'm on Gulf of Mexico, 2 hours south of Tampa. He's out there in the water somewhere.
Oh.
Awesome. Well, it's good to have you, Jim, if you can hear us. All right.
Got some other repeat offenders out there too. I see Bill's back, W6BKM.
Howdy, Bill.
What say you, Bill?
Good. How's everybody doing tonight? All right. Yeah, I'm up here in Auburn, just up the hill from you guys. This is my second time coming in on Zoom with you. I was here last week. Did a first-time check-in last week using EchoLink. That's about it.
Do you know Rob?
Yeah, you're not
261K?
Rob from Auburn in disguise now, are you?
No, I'm not, and I don't know if I know Rob or not.
Bobby Lee just got huge.
Good people.
Hey, Bobby.
Bobby's giving us a shack tour.
There's a big shack there, my goodness.
There's Carlos's roof. I wanted him to see his roof, but I can't light it up.
Yeah,
Bobby,
yeah.
we got audio now?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. My screen went blank. I don't know what the hell happened, but I'm here. It's good to see you guys. This is awesome.
Welcome to the club. Yeah, right on, Bobby.
Nick, I didn't see Molly. Did she see my sign I sent her?
Yeah, she was there. She might come out. I don't know what she's doing. She's supposed to be in bed, but who knows?
Well, he's crazy.
Back to looking at YouTube. I think that's Allie that's on there.
We got Mike back from Mike Fredman back again.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Hey, fine. I was going to ask the group a couple of questions if I could. One should be really easy. NetLogger, I tried checking in tonight, and my call sign never stayed. Is there something I'm doing wrong?
You have to select start logging and then enter in the password. And the super secret password is 2MC.
Ah, that was it. Okay.
Password, yeah.
I did not know that. I didn't get that. I've done net control before. I've always done it as the person that would start logging. I didn't know that I would do that as a participant. All right, so 2MC.
Yeah, and you already have the setup, I'm assuming, put in there where it automatically populates the information and stuff. So you should be good to go. Just when you go into select on a net that you didn't create, just click start logging, and then it'll ask for the password.
Cool.
Hey, Mike, I probably have it already. What's your call again?
Yeah, I didn't put that on Zoom tonight. Sorry. Whiskey 4 Mike Alpha Foxtrot.
Yeah, I had you from last time around, but I got you back in again.
Yeah. Hey, I've got a question for the group. A couple of club meetings this week, and we're talking about field day and whatever plans we could have. And I've got, by that time, 3 big antennas that we could use for the club. And they're talking about potentially doing it remotely. Has anyone used a RigPi, an MFJ RigPi? That's so you could set up a remote station.
Right. Yeah, I know what it is, but I haven't dove into that yet myself.
Yeah, I've watched a few reviews, and yeah, they tell you how to set it up, and they give a review and they say it works great, but I haven't really seen it in use. Thinking about contesting because, well, it's not a contest, but it's field day. But I'm thinking of that as an alternative to everyone meeting up if we're forbidden to in our state.
Yeah, and I wonder what the and I would assume they would adjust it as well. But I know most of your contests, you're about 1,000 meters, I think they give you. So your receiving or transmitting station can't be more than 1,000 meters away from you. So I wonder what's going to come about of that. And honestly, I don't know what field days rules are on that. I'm speaking more of like ARR stuff and etc. I've actually, funny story, I've gotten in trouble before from ARRL in that I did a YouTube and I was showing my radio and it was a contest for the league. And then I was showing people about the web SDR and we were like, listening to it and listening to my radio. So I had a bunch of things switching around. And people turned me in. Other hams said, here's a video. Here's a guy on the contest. He's using remote receivers. He needs to be disqualified. Okay, I made 30 contacts. If you ever done a contest, people that win it are in the thousands. I was nowhere near, I wasn't trying to cheat to win. I was just having fun. So anyways, I since took that video down. Because the league was putting some pressure on me, and I was just like, okay, I'll take the video down. So I learned that the hard way.
I gotcha. Well, there's nothing that prohibits you from having a remote station per se. And they have some really pricey stations out there that I won't even begin to invest in just for this event. But I think this is the way I'm going to go. And regardless of, if they use it. We have a property about 30 miles away. It is absolutely my best shack. Here at home, it's not as good, so I'm thinking about using it just for that. But really don't find much info on it on the MFJ.
I know Josh has done that stuff. Josh, Ham Radio Crash Course.
Yeah.
And there's just a little bit of, I guess it's almost like some Linux. I think you've got to set up. Something like that.
It's nothing more than a Raspberry Pi.
Right.
And then, yeah, under Linux, I got you. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Seems like it might do the job for me, but like I say, you only see people giving a review, and I've never spoken with anyone. It's so new. I've never spoken with anyone that's had, firsthand knowledge of the unit. So there you have it.
Software.
Chris joining us from the UK.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, saw you in there.
Hi there, I just woke up. I fell asleep. It was about 1 a.m. I think I fell asleep about 1 a.m. It's now nearly 5.
Hey, Chris, you didn't catch that question that was just being bounced around about the, what did you guys call it? The rig RF? Rig
Pi?
Rig Pi. You familiar with those Rig Pies at all?
Rig Pi, just run it by me. I haven't heard the name.
Rig Pi.
It's an MFJ portable station computer, essentially. So you interface. It's a server, yes.
Yeah, I did see it. It was, I think it was released at one of the big ham fests about 6 months ago.
Yeah, that's it.
It looks I mean, for MFJ product, it looks quite inexpensive, and it does work pretty well. From what I've seen some good reviews on it. That's all I know. I know it's good.
That's as far as I've gotten. You just see good reviews, but I haven't spoken with anyone thinking about using it.
No, I haven't spoken with anyone.
Yeah, so if you happen to be watching YouTube right now for the live stream, I threw up the video with Josh. He's just muted. But he kind of goes over a little bit of a review, and then I think he gets it up and running. So might want to check that out.
Yeah, thanks.
He's got it, looks like, up and hooked up to his 7300. And there it is there. It definitely looks like a way cool little box. I mean, I am interested as well. Although I don't necessarily know how much I'd be operating remotely.
Mm-hmm.
But
yep.
And what does that box cost? Without
about a little over $300.
Okay.
Just under 300.
Okay, well I'll change my mind. It's not affordable then.
You think that's bad? They've got the rig on Pice. Gee, I'm forgetting the name of the alternative. They've got some really pricey stuff that the remote stations use. The real serious guys. I mean, that stuff goes into the thousands, depending on how much you want to spend. And it's really specific to a certain brand name.
Well, I know you could always go with a Flex radio.
Yeah.
Which Flex radio is pretty darn amazing.
But well, here's the deal. I'm making it available to the club, so already I could use. It's an ICOM 7300. I can already use the software ICOM sells, which was $99 around Christmas time. It's usually $150, and you got a refill, sir. I could use that, but I've got to make this available to the club if I do it. So they have to be able to pull it up on a tablet, on a laptop, on their computer. That's the only catch. For me personally, I'll use it maybe at work even, just to monitor.
Right.
As
Yeah.
here in my area do with their 7300s is they use TeamViewer. So they give a TeamViewer account out to the computer that they have on that and just have people TeamView in.
Okay.
And that's how they do all of the remote for the 7300.
Okay, here's a big question for you, because that was another avenue I was looking in. Who made that comment?
KM6ZTH.
Oh, cool. I wanted to speak with you anyway. Hey, so that means the microphone from your remote station, I mean, from like my laptop right here, will go through TeamViewer?
TeamViewer, you can turn on use computer sounds, and yes, you can have bidirectional audio.
That's it. That's what I'm doing. Forget the conversation up until this point. That's all I want to do.
Yep, it's super easy.
Yeah, I'm doing that. I did not realize. I did a search last night. I didn't see that TeamViewer offered that feature both directions.
Wait, you don't want to buy a new Flex radio for $2,000?
Oh no!
Wait.
I mean, it's only $2,000 for the 6400 series. Now, there's no radio buttons, knobs, or screens on it at all. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's just a box.
TDI talking there? Is that? Oh no, that's Jason.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, Justin.
Yep.
So do you work at a station there in the area, a radio station, or what?
I work at a public access TV station in San Jose.
Cool. I saw the Jupiter. I've never played with one. There was one at my previous employment. I thought it was Jason's. I was like, man, you've been holding out on us. That's pretty cool to have there. And pretty neat how you're using it. And great presentation, by the way.
Good. Glad it was good. Yeah, I think anybody who wants to really play with audio should find something that has multiple auxes. To me, that's the key to making that all work, is that you want the ability to send different stuff different places. And I don't have the real estate for a large mixer. So to me, building a touchscreen that works with that with presets will be the key.
Yeah.
Man, it's 85 in my garage. Whew. Not used to this yet.
75 in my garage.
Yeah. Man.
Well, you know, Justin, I was going to hit you up at one point because I've strung out some Cat 5 cable around my house, and I've got to terminate my own ends. I'm all, you know. I know for you guys, I watched my buddy do it. Strips the outer coat, pops it off, like 8 wires pop out or something, and he just first of all he like puts them all up, and then somehow I think he twists pairs together, and then and he does it so fast. It's just like and all of a sudden crimp, and he's got an end on it. So I bought this at the flea market. This is my $6 special. I don't know if you can see this. My $6 special, and it and then it's got. I bought these one day. I think at a ham radio something or other. I don't know. Bought these, okay, and I got a bunch of these.
You're set.
Oh, I guess at the end of the story, I'm trying to. It does show on the thing. I guess you twist certain colors together, and so what if you're going to do it? And I'm somebody that's never done it before. Is it really just about stripping the right lengths, getting your color codes right, and then placing them in the jacket and terminating? Is there anything you have that you would recommend that would make it a little easier, or do I just try to read that damn fine print on the back of the directions of that thing?
Really good eyeballs.
Right?
One of the things that go with that is, unfortunately, not all things are created equal. As a matter of fact, the RJ40, all the connections you guys saw in here today, I built today. I didn't have any of this yesterday. So like those cables and all of that, I built today. And one of the things I ran into was I had Cat 6 connectors, because normally when I'm on a site, I'm using Cat 6 cable. But the cable I had at home was Cat 5e cable. And I thought, oh, it's probably close enough. The connector went on way easier than normal. Crimped it, put it on, nothing worked. So what I ended up doing was cutting that end off and having to go find one of my Cat 5e connectors. And sure enough, it worked fine. So you do have to make sure you have the right things working together. Sometimes the Cat 6 cable will work with certain Cat 5es. It really, really depends. There's a lot of little variables. The number one thing to think about is that you want to use a standard. And what I would do is I would look this up online and I would blow up on your computer there so you can see the color code. Is you want the color code to match. You want to use 568B. 568 beta. That is the number one common standard. And there's some weird things about that. On the crimper I have, it's on my crimper. But I usually, once I'm in the habit of making them, I just remember it. But I do this regularly. So you have to untwist a bunch of the wires. Now, the important part is that you don't untwist the twists that are down in the jacket of the wire, because those twists matter. And those twists are twisted differently. So in 568B, it goes white, orange, orange, white, green. And then normally white, green, and green are twisted. They're actually twisted together. You have to separate those enough, because white, green, then it goes to blue, white, blue, green, white, brown, brown. And that's the standard that is. Now, when that order I just went in, that's my way of I go left to right. But that also matters on how you're holding your RJ45. So when I do it that way, where I go white, orange, all the way over to brown, I make sure the connector is facing so that the pins, the gold-plated pins, are up. The tab is down. That's the way I do it. It can be done the other way, but I do it that way because I can see through the connector easier, and I use feed-through connectors, which means that I don't have to trim them to the proper length to push them through. I get to feed it through, and once I feed it through, my crimper cuts off the excess, and that's a wonderful thing. But
Those
like
are
the
the best.
RJ12s that I did, I had to estimate how long they were to cut them. And yes, it's very important that you use a nice flush pair of flush cut dikes so that you get a nice straight line, nothing at an angle. Because if you have too many if you have a couple cables that are sticking forward, right, like your fingers, if your wires look like your fingers and they're kind of slanted, right, that's going to be a problem, because this one's going to get contact made on it, but this one is going to be missed when the contact comes through. So they have got to be flush so that they're all touching that front edge. Don't ever hesitate to reach out on the repeater or something too, man. I'm happy to, like, whether it's jump on Zoom or, maybe I'll talk Jason into making a video of this. I know he was making some videos with, I can't think of his name, Kevin. And, so there's a lot of resources out there. There's some things to do, but take your time and don't rush it. It is a pain in the butt, especially when you're first learning, man. I'd say the first time I made one of those, and the number of times I had to cut off the connector and redo it and all that kind of stuff, it probably took me over an hour for the very first one I ever did. So just be patient.
This guy
Do not do it in a
makes
rush.
it look so fast, and he does it 1, 2, 3, lickety split.
Mhm.
And I always watch him when he terminates stuff for me at the house, and so next time you're cruising by Monument in Concord, call me.
Funny enough, I may be. So I will. I'll give you a ring.
Right on, brother. And I appreciate my patch, my brother. When
Absolutely,
it showed
man.
up in the mail, I was very grateful. So thank you again, brother, for looking out. Really appreciate it.
Yep.
There is one trick that I found with the twisted pairs from the cables, is that you take the outside jacket and then you put it on, like, after you take off the outside jacket, then you put it onto the twisted pairs and you screw it on, and it untwists it really quickly, instead of you doing this with your fingers to untwist it. You just stick the jacket onto the twists, and it kind of goes through.
Oh, yeah. I actually saw him do that. when they were twisted up, he had taken the sleeve, like you said.
Hey,
that
Bobby,
he
are
had
you Bobby? You're not downloading a
ripped
bunch
off
of.
the outer coating, and I watched him use that and did it like that, like the wires were twisted up.
Dude, your Pornhub's slowing everybody down.
Bobby, you're not downloading a bunch of music, right? Hey, you on
Yeah,
LimeWire or
Bobby's
you on?
got-
Are you a
Bobby's got
Napster?
R2D2.
Your Italian VPN's messing up, dude.
He's got R2D2, I think.
Bobby, your internet, it seems to be lagging, buddy.
I'm just gonna disappear.
But at least you froze respectfully.
Yeah.
You don't look too goofy.
Hey, somebody said something about a small footprint mixer. There's this thing called the Next.
Sorry, I took him out. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, they're called Nexia biamps. Here, I'll kind of show you the front.
Oh no!
But on the back of these things,
is my background coming through?
Yeah.
This is my shack in the background.
Yeah.
But you can kind of see they got all kinds of connectors on them.
Oh yeah.
We use these things at work, and we use them all for audio. You can get them for switching video. You can get them for stereo AV, mono AV. They're all grounded. I've set up a couple of these for folks that were really into listening to scanners. So they had all their scanners in one room, and then they've got speakers throughout the house, and they can log into a laptop or a tablet, run the software, and they can mute or turn up volumes, turn down volumes. So it's all networked. And you can pick these things up for under $50 used on eBay.
Hey, Chris, can you repeat the name of that?
Yeah, it's called a Nexia biamp. Here.
I have trouble seeing it. but
Manufacturer.
anyway.
Nexia is the model. They make a variety of DSPs.
Oh, it's backwards, isn't it?
No, that looks right.
No.
Oh, okay.
Get read it.
You have the mirror feature turned on.
Yeah, so it's the one that I have here today is a VC, so it's a more of an audio video. So it's doesn't do the video, but it does stereo. But you can split them out. But I've set up. We have quite a few of these at the office, but because we have courtrooms that we have sound systems, and it's amazing what you can do to them. And you can get 2 or 3 of them and tie them together, and have one screen that looks like a mixer on your computer.
That's neat. I'm gonna have to look into this.
Yeah, very
And like I said, you can pick them up cheap on eBay. I think the one that I've got here, I paid $35 for plus shipping.
That's cheap.
And new, they're like $1,500, $2,500.
Hey, Chris, did you have something you wanted to say? Chris, there, Digital Ham, Chris?
He has something about his background.
Oh, hold on a minute. Let me get you.
Hold on. You're muted, Chris. Hold on.
I don't know. I hit it.
Yeah,
There we
sorry.
go.
I was muted. Yeah. My background is it's a video playing. I was just telling Nick.
Oh.
So it's a video of his shack playing in the back, so it's consistent. So you only have to clean it. You only have to pick it up one time, and then you can let it be a mess the rest of the time.
And funnily enough, I'm trying some new software, guys. It's this isn't a green screen I'm using. Look at this. Look, this.
Oh, that's cool. What's that called? What's
It's called XSplit VCam. Look, that's my normal background. Look, a messy bedroom. I've just got out of bed. Look, there's a bed there.
It's still warm.
Yeah. No, this is a piece of software. It's called XSplit VCam, and it's something like $20 lifetime, usage, and I can select any background I want. I can even play a YouTube video. Look at this one. Look, this is totally irrelevant video, but I was just testing a random video. Watch this one. Look. You can even play a YouTube video in the background.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know that girl, by the way. She's just coming.
It looks like she's going to give you a massage.
Yeah, well, I won't say anymore.
So XSplit. So you can just go to xsplit.com and look at that.
If anyone wants to know, just send me an email. It's XSplit VCam.
Okay. Send me a link on that, Chris. I'm interested in looking at that.
Yeah, it's £20. $20. It works well.
Wow, that's pretty good. Hey guys. Hey.
What's up,
Hey,
Michael?
guys. Oh, hey, I'm gonna cut loose here, guys. It's good to see you all. Got to get to bed here. Still got the essential job of meat and seafood deliveries. And good to see you there, Brian and Nick and Jason, the rest of the gang. Thanks, Chris, for the net locking job. And you, Chris, in England, you take care of yourself too. We'll catch you again next week. So with that,
Yeah, okay, Michael.
All right.
Nice to speak to you, Michael. See ya.
One quick question. What town are you from in England?
What town?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm near to Northampton. Northampton is about 70 miles north of London.
Oh, okay. I have a brother-in-law who's lived here for many years, and he's from Manchester.
Manchester, yeah, that's quite a bit up north. Yeah, so it's
Okay.
a couple of 100 miles away.
That's what I thought. All right. Well, thanks again, guys. You take care. Have a blessed evening. Stay safe and healthy. We'll talk to you later. 73 is all.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging in there, Mike.
Talk to you next week.
Mike.
All right.
Hey, Chris, I wasn't a ham when I lived in London for 3 years, but I wasn't a ham when I was there. How are the prices on gear over there for you guys? I know I also lived in Australia for a while. You know, it's weird what things are more expensive and what things are cheaper. So what's it like for you buying gear over there? Is it better or worse?
It's worse. Well, it's put it this way. Let's all compare the ICOM 7300. Over here, it's about £1,200.
Oh!
Well, in America, I know you can get it for $899, can't you, or less?
I just got one for $750.
Well, brand new. That's unbelievable.
Main trading company, man. They're our guys.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a 7300. I bought it a year or two ago, but that is unbelievable. What a rip-off. Why is that? That's bad, isn't it?
We can get you one and then just kind of put it in a little boat and push it on your
well,
way.
Yeah, well, thanks, but I've already got one. You know, can you send me the money? Can you send me the money back?
We got to get Justin to wire up a time machine for us, and then we can go back.
No, but it shouldn't be that way, should it? It's crazy.
No, it's always the way, though. I know living there, I just found some stuff was crazy expensive, and and then sometimes on top of it, the pound can be, pretty strong, and it's like paying, 4 times as much for certain things. So yeah.
There's got to be something, I don't know necessarily ham radio related, but there has to be something over there that is less expensive than here in comparison, just based on trade markets and stuff.
Well, we've got good internet. We've got good internet. I can pay for, I've got unlimited internet, on my mobile for £20 a month. Is that good? With loads of calls, 900 minutes.
That's not bad. They got good fish and chips and Indian food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've got good Mexican food here.
Question for you. You're a Zello user, right?
I have used it. I don't use it every day, but I've go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. No, I thought you were telling us the first time we met you that you mentioned Zello, and they've got 6 unique ham radio like channels, and I almost thought I recognized your voice and your call sign from hearing you on Zello. I use that still to this day. A lot of people.
Yeah, I have used it. I think my name is my call sign in there.
Yeah. Okay. Then I have heard you. I was going to mention there's a guy named Rian who's on there quite a bit. He's in South Africa, and
I've heard him. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten to know him quite well, and we talked about just one-on-one, offline, about pricing for ham radio gear and everything else for that matter in South Africa, and it was crazy off the charts, like $3,000 US dollars to buy an ICOM 7300.
Yeah. Yeah, it's often the way. Australia's and South Africa are very expensive for things. The iPhone here, even though it's in pounds, it's normally the same as dollars, same number.
Mm-hmm.
We all know that dollars is a bit more. You get a bit more for your money. The exchange rate. But over here, pounds are, it's like the base iPhone. The lowest one is something like $699, for example, pounds, and it's $699. So they rip us off with everything.
How about blue jeans? Someone's in the chat is asking how much is a pair of jeans.
I wouldn't know. I haven't bought any for years. Yeah, no, they're about $20, something like that.
So Bobby,
Hey,
Bobby's resetting his connection, he said.
He's been resetting forever. I'll tell you what, if you want to get technicians excited about sitting for their general license, loan them a HF radio for a couple of weeks, because I got my 7300 in, I got to wire up, and all of a sudden I can't help wanting to listen around, see what I can hear, and pulling in stations, and it's pretty exciting for a new ham, and I'm just chomping at the bit for a test site to open up so I can get upgraded and start pushing that transmit button. I'll tell you.
I wish someone did that for me.
Yeah, that's there's a lot of talk about testing now, and I forget which YouTuber it was. Jason that had the guy from Ham Radio Test. I forget the website name. You guys have all probably tested there. It's a great video. He talks about he's had this remote testing capability developing over the years. I think he even mentioned about 10 years he's been working on Ham Radio Study, right? Isn't that what the website is?
Yeah, I think it's Ham Radio Study, and then Ham Radio 2.0 has been doing a lot of videos with him too, talking about the process and getting it set up.
Yeah, and it's fascinating to see that video, and a lot of the clubs are looking into doing something now. What that guy was talking about was way extensive. Like, it would be a lot of work, but we've got someone in a local club now just trying to go out on his own, get a group started to see what they can do safely for running these tests, because there are people chomping at the bit. A friend of mine who just got his technician, and he is ready to go for his general, and actually he's ready to go for his extra, but he can't. So sure,
It's like Jason's got something up on YouTube about the remote. Is that an application deal for one?
Well, so I just went to Jason, the other Jason, Ham Radio 2.0, and it looks like he was chatting with an Anchorage ARR rep, and I guess from what I understand, Anchorage has been doing remote testing for quite some time, just because of where they sit and their remote location. But I was just kind of perusing around there in the comments to see what kind of links. But yeah, definitely, if you're curious about that, he's been going over a lot of stuff. He's got at least 3 or 4 videos I see right off the bat. I'm showing that now if you're tuned into YouTube. But yeah, I think that might be the direction we go. And I think at the very least, technician, that should be a no-brainer. Let the techs test online. Maybe general extra, that could get a little tricky, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. We're a pretty smart bunch of guys.
I think, honestly, my opinion would be that the generals and the extras should have to wait. I know that's probably not a popular opinion, but I think the generals and the extras should have to wait until they can test in person, just for the integrity of the hobby. But as far as getting technicians on board, I mean, it's easy for people these days to lose interest, especially if they haven't sunk their teeth into it. So I'm happy that they're doing some kind of online testing, at least for techs, to get them in the door and get them talking and get them going. And then you've got all the time in the world to progress in the hobby. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do with a technician license. So my 2 cents.
You do your entire course, all of your classes, everything online. The fact that we can't operate a simple test online blows my mind. I understand the concept of how somebody may be cheating or whatever that is, but I just don't understand why it's a problem to figure this out. There's plenty of platforms out there. It may mean that the online test isn't the same multiple choice test, right? Like, it's just the way that thing goes different. But I'm pretty sure the like the guys in Anchorage and stuff, what they do is they have like one person on site and then cameras watching the person, and there's 3 people watching one person take a test. That's such a waste. We could be putting a lot more people into this hobby by allowing them to test online through a proper testing thing. I understand that you don't want to be able to have, here's the answers online, then I'm just answering across. That's not what I think anyone's proposing, but there is plenty of solutions. It's our ARRL and our FCC who need to change very fast. And this whole, we're working on it, we've been working on it, we'll hope we're going to do it, ain't going to cut it. it's time for them to learn that we are go time now. So pull the trigger and let's go.
Yep, that's just it. It's the commission and our advocates at ARRL. They have a protocol, and I heard this guy describe. He said we've got to have someone watching to account for the testers to make sure that they're actually doing their job. So it seems like an onion. There are many layers. In fact, that's what he said. It's like an onion. So there you have it.
Yeah, but if you don't want the hobby to die, you got to modernize the hobby, right? And if you're going to attract young people, you've got to make it, you got to have the internet be a big piece of it for them getting on board, I think.
Yep.
And that maybe is to Nick's point, is do it for the entry level, get people in, and then if you got to maintain that super integrity, do it for the upper licenses. But need to keep getting folks in the door.
Hey, and I tell you another thing. I had mentioned that Zello, and I'm going to post on the new Discord channel a link to those 6 unique Zello channels. They're very much ham-like, and people. That's how I somewhat became inspired, because I got to play around on there, and there are people who are hams that use that, and they're happy to speak to you, and they're happy to use that for. They've got a story why they like using that. That's a great way right now to get your teeth onto amateur radio, just by speaking with people around the world with crystal clear audio. So I'll throw that out there. I've got to look for the link of those stations, but it's pretty neat.
I got a question. You know how earlier tonight when somebody asked who was gonna do CW on 2 meter, how would they do that? Are they just using like the regular FM 2 meter, using one of these, and then just connecting it to your Bofang? Are you just transmitting and clicking at the same time, or what are they hooking it up to on a 2 meter kind of rig?
I'll take that. So what you're going to probably need is one of those all band, all mode radios. For instance, the Yaesu 991 Alpha, the ICOM 7100, the 9700. So one of those more, I guess, higher class radios that can cover your VHF, UHF has a key input for a CW key. So not saying you can't do it with a Bofang. I'm sure there's a lot of different creative ways to do that or try that, but yeah, that's just the simple way to do it.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of.
There's a space for it, 144.0 to 144.1. So there's even allocation for it. The other part is there's nothing that says that you can't run CW in the phone section anyway. So yeah, you could just audibly key up over your mic and sit there with an oscillator and key.
Yeah, I've seen a few things out there where you can modify an HT to do it, but it doesn't look like it's something easy. I've got an all mode radio, so I can switch over, but that's the only way I could do it on 2 meter.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, Justin, because not only does it not say you can't, it actually says that you can. It directly says, I'm reading the ARRL amateur band plan right now, and the first thing in the keynote says that CW operation is permitted throughout all amateur bands anywhere.
Fair enough.
Identify via CW.
You look good, Bobby Lee. Bobby Lee, what's happening? Let me unmute you. Say hello. Oh, he's got a light. We're doing disco.
Okay.
I unmuted myself. Can you hear me all right?
Yep, we hear you great.
Now you're teasing him.
Or does my signal still suck?
It's real rough, buddy. It's real rough.
You got a robot Bobby.
It's rough.
Yeah, Bobby.
I don't know what happened, bro, but I got this.
Oh no.
All right.
Oh no.
We love
gotta
you,
bust
Bobby.
out of the Stone Age over there. What kind of internet connections are you running?
We need to plug a cable into his device.
Maybe he can still go through the repeater like how Carlos does.
It's because he's got 12 hotspots going with, SDRs and.
Actually, I was concerned about tonight with my SDR running, but it's okay.
I'm waiting for that cat just to claw at your face, Bill.
That's a big cat.
Yeah, he's pretty mellow.
Well fed. Ooh, Bobby Lee's giving more a tour. Look how beautiful all those are stacked up.
It might be part of the museum.
I like the flashlight. Like he's
Somebody
gonna rob the
else's house
joint.
he's in. I mean, he's got a flashlight and he's wandering around.
Yeah.
He's gonna rob the joint. Here, let's make that bigger for the people that are maybe on YouTube.
Look at all that.
Wow.
I'm browsing around 40 here. Plenty going on 40 tonight.
All right, if you need me to test any of that equipment for you, Bobby Lee, just let me know.
Oh, so guys, I went to make a full screen, and it won't even go full screen. It says Bobby Lee's network bandwidth is low.
Yeah.
It won't even go full screen.
I see it's half screen.
Addiction problem.
Wow, man.
Oh my gosh.
Like Rob always says, I quit anytime I want, right?
And yet Bobby still bought a radio last week.
I'm trying to talk myself out of I want to get one of those little Yaesu's. I was talking with Chris about it. I don't know if he's still on. Chris from the UK, but I want to get one of those Yaesu FT-70Rs, D70Rs, or whatever they are.
Start playing around with a little fusion.
Yeah.
You can hear us, Bobby.
Are you talking about the 2D or 3D?
The 70D. No, the 2D and 3D are way too much.
Yeah. The 70D is a nice little radio.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to send that up for me to test, I can do that too. I'm open to doing that. Just for you.
Bobby just went to go get one.
Yeah. He's probably got 7 of them.
Hey, so A-Web in the chat said that he said, I have a recorded message on a Arduino, and he plugs the audio output into the input of the Bofang. So, in other words, he's got an audio file he plays through the Bofang, and he uses that for fox hunts. So, in other words, it's, some kind of CW going across.
Huh.
Look at those radios.
Yeah.
Is that the 2D or the 3D?
That's the 1D, and that's the 3D.
That's the 3D, yeah.
The Mac Daddy.
All right, turn his video off, dang it.
Well, Nick, you keep
Christmas
having
antennas,
kids,
you
man.
know, that's all radio and no antenna,
Right.
I could use one of those handheld CBs.
And he's got that Motorola. Oh yeah, that's the Motorola I use at work, the black one. That's the 7550. Yeah, we use those at work. That's funny. Bobby said if I take my work radio to him, he'd program some amateur frequencies on it. Nice. That's like what firefighters use, man.
Yeah.
Would you find a guy laying down on the street? A fire truck parked out front on a medical call. He's, oh, thank you.
Oh, they don't need that.
Fire pulled it right off his belt.
Too much fun.
I think I'm going to call it a night, guys.
All right. Well, thanks for coming out, Dan. I think that was Dan, right?
Yeah, that was Dan.
Yeah, I'm fighting allergies and not sleeping good, so I think I'll catch a good night tonight.
Thanks for jumping in.
Yeah. Great to see you again.
Hear you on the 3.3 and 470, and see y'all next week.
All right. Very good.
3.3 all the way. 7.3.
Yeah, I posted links up in Discord. I realized I didn't have them there, so Discord has a links tab, and there you can go and grab the 2 different repeaters. But, it's pretty cool to use some kind of whatever your favorite scanner app might be for your phone.
Bobby Lee.
Where'd he go? Oh, now we're going to
Knock
guns.
that off, Bobby Lee. We don't need any of that. We got to keep this thing monetized.
I don't think his video isn't clear enough.
That's a 50 cal.
As long as you're not, I think you can show weapons. You just can't. I don't know how that works.
You can't talk positively about them.
Oh.
Did you forget that we're in the state of California?
Let's stick to ham, but there is a channel on our Discord if you want to go down that road, right?
Yeah, there's some pew pew for you.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun going on there.
Yeah. Whoa, who dropped this?
See, you just have to ship something else by way.
Yeah, I started talking about maybe getting something for my wife, and Ted just started unloading all the different pictures. I mean,
yes, he did.
He must have a lot.
No, that's all on the bottom of the Sassoon Bay. Those are old pictures.
I don't understand. I don't know. I mean, it's funny to say that something fell off a boat, but does that come from somewhere?
Possibly.
I don't know.
Bobby's probably the definition of America.
Oh, yeah. Order. It's one thing to have a bunch of guns. It's another to line them along your curtain rods.
You're gonna have pistol in one hand, a beer in the other, and a.
I guarantee you he's got an American flag sleeping bag somewhere. I guarantee it.
Eduardo in Texas, KG5WNL. He's on YouTube still hanging out. He's a fan of the FT-70DR.
All right, right on.
We still got 25 people watching on YouTube. This can't be that entertaining.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about it. I mean, we're coming up 2.5 hours we're coming up on, so I might shut things down after that. 10 more minutes. We'll go 10 more. Just because I do have to work tomorrow.
Oh, work.
But hey, you can always pick it up on the repeater. Both repeaters are dead quiet. Where was Rob tonight?
Rob was on, when we shut down with the anti-net, he took over. And there's no cutoff, so you can imagine how long his message. When I was trying to let Bobby Lee know he was on mute through the repeater, it took me about 40 minutes to wait for Rob to unkey.
Yeah, I guess maybe. I mean, sometime we'll get Rob and Mitch in here, but that would be it, though. That would be the whole show.
Yeah. I tried to get Mitch in here. He was trying to find the link. I kept telling him it was in the live feed. I couldn't figure out how to get it on my phone.
Ooh, what do we got there? Open spot? Oh, the SDR Play. Yeah.
Which one is that?
That's the one you want to get, not the. I got like the $30 cheapo. SDR Play.
SDR Play.
Yep.
I'm still waiting on my darn Open Spot 3 from Shark Fin. They're like at least a month from when you order now before you get one in. So I got a little jumbo spot running in the house in the meantime, but I really like the looks of that Open Spot 3. But yeah, if you're going to order, just know you got a long wait ahead of you as things stand now.
Did you build that jumbo spot or did you buy it already pre-made?
I just got one without a box and stuff, and I just had some stuff from my audio days laying around to kind of put it together. So I didn't do any of the soldering. It was all on the boards, but I just had to assemble it. Saved a couple of bucks that way.
Could you send me a link of where you went to get that stuff?
Yep.
Awesome.
It was all, I'm pretty sure it was all Amazon that I ended up doing the orders through, so I should be able to get them easy.
Cool. Yeah, I'm interested in getting something set up with that because I've never tried DMR, so.
Setting it up's fairly easy, but there are some quirkiness sometimes with like connecting to your router. Or I had when I was I was doing in particular D-Star, so like I left a space in one entry, and it was like the same thing happened with me and Bobby Lee. Like it totally doesn't work if you leave one space in a wrong spot. So it can be a little frustrating. But once it's up and running, like I've had it running for like a week now, and it's just super steady. I can tune in anytime and jump on digital whenever I want with my HT, sitting on the couch and talk around the world essentially. So it's pretty slick.
Awesome.
I was thinking about antennas and stuff, and I put up a 20-meter dipole in my backyard, just to try it out with my SDR, kind of like the one that Jason has, that little silver USB stick or whatever. And I got some stuff, but I was wondering if the dipole is that better or worse than like an end-fed, kind of like vertical end-fed or something?
I would say a dipole is one of the easiest and possibly the best antenna you can put up. You know what I mean? You know, verticals are great. They can push a lot of DX, but they also can drink in a lot of noise. And then you have to think about radials to get your SWR. So in other words, you need a bunch of spiders of wires on the ground to really get that reflection correct. Dipoles, you don't need anything except, center-fed dipoles. You just need to have your coax up to balun, let's say, and then it comes either horizontal, or I think what's really popular these days is the inverted V. So in other words, it tapers down like an inverted V or like a TP. And for me, I've had great luck with the inverted V in both talking around the local area, so you can grab some hams up and down in your state, as well as get some DX. The dipole also does fairly good with noise, but it is directional. So remember when you string it out. So for instance, my wires go north to south. Maybe not dead on, but let's just say north to south. So I'm radiating east to west. So I'm a little deaf north to south, as well as for what kind of power I can send north to south. So, but the best thing about it is there's so many different things to experiment, and depending where you live. I mean, an end-fed also could work, but it is a little bit more of, you're going to lose a little bit with an end-fed. You're going to need a 4-to-1, or I think it's a 9-to-1 unun, I think they call it. But you know what? If that's your situation and you just want to run like a sloper, an end-fed, that also will work. I mean, you really just got to start experimenting. And a lot of this stuff, you just random stuff laying around, or, wire, or, I mean, I've got a bunch of 14 gauge. So if anybody needs 14 gauge stranded, I definitely have a bunch of that.
Yeah. And then the other thing I was thinking about is, like, if I wanted to do a 40-meter dipole or something like that, could I string it up like it goes down as an inverted V and then it kind of goes back? Can you do that as well, or is that
you kind of want to stay away from the folding? So your legs, a lot of times you want to be straight. Bobby's showing stuff. Woodland. Okay, yeah, he's got his QSL card.
I like it. I like it a lot, Bobby.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so the 40-meter inverted V, you'd be looking at about 30 feet on each leg, 60 total. And you could definitely play with how much that slopes. And, if it slopes really far down, so be it. See what your SWR is. And then I don't know if you ever seen what guys do on the end where you throw it around the isolator, is where, if your isolator's here, you throw it around your isolator, and then you leave yourself a good 6 inches, and you twist it back on itself, and then you either twist more or you twist less back on itself. And when you do that, that is canceling it out as you twist it, but having that extra slack will give you the ability to adjust it longer or shorter. And then really the next tool you absolutely need, in my opinion, is some kind of antenna analyzer. Kevin has a bit of a presentation he's going to bring to us one of these Wednesdays about using a simple SWR meter as an antenna analyzer, but there's a little bit more work involved, kind of back and forth. So that's where the analyzer really comes into play. But Bert, you're in Fairfield or so, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so you're local. We can definitely help you out, get this thing built and tuned up. Just got to have the approval from the wife. That's.
Do you get out of the 3.3 at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've been on there a couple of times, but it's like, Mitch and Rob are like on it, like hard to get on there. Like, okay, try to get in. It's like, oh wait, okay,
well,
something else.
That said, one thing we could do is we could use something like Discord to just throw out like, hey guys, I got a question, or I got a topic, and just throw it out there. VVR definitely doesn't get enough traffic, so we could easily let people know we're going to move some topics over there to chat about, and that would be pretty cool. And I'm sure Nick would appreciate that too up there.
Yeah.
But I get it. I'm guilty. At work, my HT picks up 3.3 because I'm, right there by the mountain. Where VVR right now, there's some things that are being adjusted, so it's not as strong as it could be as far as RF strength. And it's just spotty a little bit on HT because I'm, I think about 30 miles line of sight with some dirt in the way here and there.
I'll give it a shot again. The other part was just mostly trying to get the coax out from upstairs to downstairs and through a door or whatever it is. And
Oh, so is your shack upstairs?
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my Elmer's always said you just have to make a hole once in the walls. But yeah, my wife would not. I mean, I got lucky in the garage. I got that vent I showed earlier. It just snakes through that vent that already existed.
yeah. I'll have to do that one day. It's like,
I don't know what I'm going to do, because we started this thing somewhere in the fall, I think, the 2-meter career anti-net. I'm going to be sweating bullets. Once it cracks off to be summer, I'll be in here, 7, 8 o'clock on a Wednesday night. It'll be 110 degrees in here.
oh yeah.
Well, it's a good question to ask. We were talking about that the other day at your place. What has anybody used one of those little kind of standalone units in a garage to try to cool it off? Are they actually effective at all? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Chris is talking about a little portable AC unit, right?
Yeah.
Anybody
In
have
front
one of
it
those?
Feels great.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna power your shack and that, good luck.
Well, no, I'm not on batteries in here.
Well,
How many circuits are in your
the thing
garage?
about the portable AC units is that they have that exhaust duct that comes off of it.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to like go through the window or whatever it is. That thing puts out so much heat just off of that duct that it's like almost canceling out the.
Well, I got a dog. I got a dog door. That's doable.
There you go. Throw it through there.
Yeah.
If you have a portable unit that has 2 ducts, if the ducts actually have if they expand and you can run them places, you can actually cheat and run the air intake, even though it's supposed to be drawing from the outside to push cold air into the room you're in. If you have it draw right next to where it
You
already
super
is putting
cool
out
it?
cold air, it puts out extra cold air. And if all you're
So
trying
you
to
freeze it
cool
over.
is like the 6 feet around you, you're good to go.
Guys, I'm bummed. I try to load up some different sound board here tonight, but it gets so busy, I wanted to, at some point, or if someone wanted to, chip in. Lately, I've been getting some chip in, so I was going to hit this one. All sorts of fun little sound.
Hey, I'm just looking on. Can I share my screen on the Zoomer?
Yeah, there should be a tab. Anybody can.
All right. Desktop 1. Caution. Yeah, I'm gonna throw caution to the wind.
Caution.
Why is it telling me to open Zoom preferences? Oh, great. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
I think it's telling me I have to give permission. Regular record until this quit. No, I can't do it. It's telling me I got to give permission. Blah blah blah. So
Hold on, let me see this. One.
Let me put the link in.
All right, here. Try it now.
Oh no, I think it's my computer telling me. I'll try it again.
Because it said one participant can share at a time, but I went to multiple.
All right, let me try again. I'm pretty sure it's my computer telling me I gotta. Yeah, it is. Give permission, but I'll put the link in the box. Maybe you can bring it up. I'm just saying these split units are not as expensive as you might think, and they're actually pretty easy to install. The hardest thing is the electrical run, but for a guy like you, that's easy. Or you could invite a friend over like me who knows how to do it. And you got to drill a hole again. Don't tell the wife. But otherwise, they're pretty easy. And then you can actually really pull that garage down. Studio. I'm sorry, not garage. The ham radio TV studio.
That's right. Oh, okay. Yeah. So we got $689, And so you got a deal that goes in the wall, and then you got a deal that goes outside, I'm guessing, right?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, that would
all
be
the
good.
all the refrigerant's already loaded. All you got to do is run it, and then when you attach everything, it releases the refrigerant throughout the system, and you're off and running. So it's kind of like a no-brainer to set up. You'd have to put the outdoor unit like out by your RV, but I think for a garage or a space like that, that's a really good way to go.
That's what's in a lot of AV closets, because it's an easy thing to run. Is you run that line and you got something cooling down what used to be a janitor's closet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's in all of ours.
All right, I could take some of that Trump money and buy it.
There you go.
Interesting. I wonder, what about one of those ones that wheel around? What would that be called?
Sitting here in the garage, and they're okay. They're loud. Because
Yeah.
you are right on top of the compressor and everything. And you still got to exhaust the heat somewhere, because otherwise you're just pushing hot air back into itself.
So about $300 for one of these little jobbers. I'd be kind of interested in this because it'd be multi-purpose too.
What would be the other purpose?
Take it somewhere else. Field day.
Tent camping.
It takes up your
AC.
floor
You put AC in a tent.
Field day. I don't know. Someone else's shack. when I live in the RV.
That may be coming soon if you keep drilling holes in the house.
I know, you ain't lying. Yeah.
Actually got one of those.
Need a 991A in return.
What was that, Chris? Or someone said they actually got something?
Yeah, I got one of those window-mounted AC units for the summertime because it gets hot in that ham shack. It used to be just a little storage room behind the one of the garages, one of the single-car garages. So it actually isn't really that bad for when I use it. I mean, it pushes out cold air for as old as the thing is. It's probably older than dirt, older than me. But really, to be honest, those little window-mounted AC units aren't that bad if you have a small little shack or something.
Very cool. Hey, you got to show us more pictures of your grandfather's shack. I know you shared one or two, but that looks like a pretty cool spot. How often do you get out there to operate, Brian?
Yeah, I get out there every time I go to my grandmother's. I try to get out there usually at least for an hour, because I mean, sitting in there for like a half hour, because I don't go up there too often anymore. I used to go up there and spend the night there, do some yard work every day, but I only go up, usually take a day trip out there, do yard work, and take a break and go play radio. I've got a lot of pictures though posted on my QRZ page. If you look me up, that's my main go-to page for logbooks and whatnot.
Oh, good. Oh, God. I hate how QRZ logs you out. Maybe it's because I have the two-factor authentication thing.
If you don't have that.
Are you on a computer, Brian?
Yeah, I'm on a computer.
Well, share your screen.
Try to.
Oh, okay. Are you on a Mac 2 as well? A Mac
Yeah.
2. Oh,
No, yeah.
God. That's what happened to Chris.
All the cool guys are.
Yeah, except Apple won't let you share your screen. You probably have to go into permissions, put in your password, hit unlock, hit OK.
Yeah, basically what it said, I had to shut down, give it permission and then restart Zoom. So I know you guys don't want to miss even a minute of looking at this face, so I didn't want to take a break.
Appreciate that.
I don't want to show your address.
That would not be good. Well, I mean, if you look up my call sign, it's gonna.
I
be
know,
out
but
there
not
anyway.
everyone on YouTube could possibly look up your call sign. So can I click these photos? I know they're all. Oh, very cool. All right, is that your
wow.
grandfather's call on his hat? I'm guessing.
Let me go.
On your
over to
QRZ page, what was your grandfather's call?
He was W6 VNQ.
Ah, that's where you get your last three from.
Yep, I smushed my call sign and his call sign to get the one that I got now.
Did someone take the W6 VNQ?
No, that's still active. I'm gonna wait until that deactivates after, I think it's gonna be another 7 years. or
Wait,
so.
it's active by who?
It's just because call signs don't expire for 10 years, so we haven't canceled his license or anything yet. So we haven't listed him as like a silent key or anything. So
Oh, well,
technically he's still an active ham operator, but
I would assume there's a way. There's a way to get that over to you fully. You're like, now you just got to
I
figure
have
that
to
out.
submit a death certificate, mail them a death certificate so they can cancel it, and then I apply for his call sign. But my parents brought up the point, he was him in the ham radio hobby. He did VHF, UHF stuff. So I'll be my own self, but, tag along a little bit of what he had.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, there's a ton of ways to do it any way you like, for sure. Well, that's cool. I didn't have anyone that I knew in my family. So.
I should have gotten my license when I was like 10 years old. He was really trying to push me, and I was even younger, but I think it was not a great age to push me because I didn't know anything. And the part that scared me was having to learn CW and all that kind of stuff, and then all that changed, and finally got my license.
Well, hey, you got a lot of people beat because I think you're 17, 18 years old. So, I mean, I just got mine 4 years ago. So I would have been 35-ish. But yeah, so, you're doing way better already. So no worries.
I was laughing the other day. I was talking to my brother-in-law and had a little bit about telling him that I had gotten into the ham radio, and he immediately, kind of remembered that his dad was a CB guy, and he remembered his father's, CB call numbers just because he said he heard it so many times in the car, it like got driven into his brain. But I mean, this is like, I don't know, like 35 years later or something that he's remembering that call. I was really pretty surprised.
Wow. Yeah, I can say the same for my kids. They learned that pretty quick in the car, just hearing my call. Now, Nick, does Molly want her own call sign? Because I know my daughter already saying, when can I get my own? I'm like, well, we've got to study a little.
Yeah, she does. She's just not. She's not ready to dive into the real hard question. Like she did the same thing. She picked up my call sign real quick, and she loves talking on the radio. She gets really excited every time. But she just doesn't have the patience yet. I think it's probably going to be maybe a year or so before she really has the attention span to dedicate to the harder words and things like that to get through it. But there have been kids as young as 5. I think that's the record, which there's a lot of coercion going on there. Them just pumping information that the kid doesn't understand to get them their ticket. But and at 5, I don't know if that's how good that is for them to understand that at that point. They don't know what they're doing yet, but.
Well, now that we're homeschooling all of our kids, well, we're kind of making up their own curriculum, right? So who's not to say we hand them a book?
And maybe
We got
say
the
if you got like a
what was that license? The FRS license, and that's what I've got my daughter using. So she gets the idea. We're using the BF888s, and that way she is getting the experience, has a call sign she can use, and
awesome.
It still gets some of that excitement. So that eventually she'll want to learn. So
should we still do a kids show? Oh, someone's signing. Who is that?
I'm sorry, guys. I gotta check out of here. So
I hear you,
have
Chris.
a good night.
All right, Chris.
You too.
Thanks
I'm not too far behind you.
All right, guys.
Good night.
Here, 7-3, y'all.
Lights out.
Adios.
Literally.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That was quick. I always gotta look around and push buttons. But yeah, Nick,
I think we're down to around 20 left on YouTube, so those are probably the folks that fell asleep 15 minutes ago.
Like, oh my God.
Well, we had Walt on the other day, and I'm pretty sure he fell asleep while he was.
Yeah, that was classic when you said, let's do a health check on Walt.
Hey, Jason, when you're streaming that and you probably said this already, but what program are you using to capture the SDR that you're streaming to Broadcastify? What program are you using to capture the SDR? Did I scare you away?
No, Scannercast. I'm reading it.
Scannercast.
Yeah, I mean, so if you go into Broadcastify, it's one of they have a few links to different software, and I just selected the top one because typically they give it what they recommend first. And so it's a piece of software you download, and then you log in your Broadcastify, and then that's kind of what does the scooping up, if you will. And then actually what I did is I didn't want to take it from the internal sound card because that will kill the external output. At least that's what I understand, because it's a very basic, simple computer. So I'm still telling the SDR to output on the good old-fashioned analog headphone jack, if you will. And then I am able to use a Y connector, take it to speakers so I can hear it in my shack. So I essentially have a radio always playing, 3.3. And then I have another cable that I bring it out of into a small USB dongle. It costs like $12. And this USB dongle then has the microphone analog into a USB. And then that gets mounted and discovered on the PC to where that says, oh, okay, I'll take audio from this USB audio device. And that's how I'm able to have it both live in the shack, and then it goes right back into this program, and then on to Broadcastify. So far it's worked. And when you stream something to Broadcastify, they give you a free account, which I think is, I don't know, $30 a year. So that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So what do you
I was playing around. Go ahead.
What do you use Broadcastify for?
So recently when we got this repeater that we use for this net, we got it on AllStar, and AllStar gave us EchoLink, and then Mike also discovered, oh, I could just also pipe this into Broadcastify, which is way cool because now our repeater is out there to be listened to anybody, that's got one of these scanner apps on their phone. And then there's another repeater, the 3.3, that a lot of us are on, kind of Nick. That's where we've essentially all met, but it is a no-net frequency, no-net repeater. There's no clubs. There's just one or two. There's a guy and there's a girl that maintain the repeater. So anyways, the traffic on there gets pretty crazy. Like, this is one of these repeaters, and I'm guessing in most areas you're going to have one of them around where people will go for hours without IDing. They'll curse at each other, although you can hear that anywhere sometimes. But it's a pretty interesting repeater. So I just thought, how fun would it be to stream this? Also, a side note is when you utilize Broadcastify, they're archiving all of the audio. I have everything recorded now since I've turned it on.
Wow.
So mind your P's and Q's for those that misbehave out there.
Almost like catching the what's it called, the guy with the bowfang and the alarm clock going off all the time.
Yeah, we're gonna have to DF that guy because he doesn't identify, but sometimes I often might send people audio clips of themselves and go, hey, how about you church it up a bit? Or cut it down to a few minutes of what you have to say. Good Lord.
I laughed that one guy tonight was saying, oh, you guys are great because you get along. Everybody gets along so well. I'm like, yeah, well, you listen to the 3.3 for a while, you'll see a little brotherly love going on now and again.
This is a PG-13 repeater, the VVR. Yeah.
Gym show.
Yeah, so it was kind of just an experiment, though, Mike. Messing around with the SDR, very fascinating stuff. A lot of audio things to adjust, and the price is relatively cheap. And I pretty much have sacrificed the computer because I can't do anything. I can do some things on the computer, but the second it starts playing sound or I want to watch a YouTube video or something, it's gonna go on Broadcastify. So, that computer is essentially dead to me, but that's okay. It's a very old Dell 2012. I got it from our local county. Actually, they're selling it for $40. So we'll see when the heat hits. Like I said, it gets hot in this shack. I might lose it, So
Hey, by the way, I did net control for the KC8 MTV repeater on Saturday night, and I did use NetLogger.
Cool.
And all of a sudden, this call sign comes in, and I press enter, and it's like California, and I'm like, what? So, and by the way, I copied your concept here. I invited everyone to join me on Zoom.
Nice.
He shows up. And actually, that's how I called him. I said, okay, I see somebody here that didn't call in, but because they're on Zoom and I'm trying to tease you all to use Zoom, I'm going to call him right now. He goes on next. And so I type in his call sign. I see he's from California. I'm like, how did you find us? And it was from the 2 Meter Crew.
Oh, man.
Between the 2 Meter Crew or the net, the Wednesday night net.
And so what is that room called?
The Virginia room. Pretty easy to remember.
Okay. I'm putting this in my phone because the weekends come and then it's just crazy. So
well, I tell you what, I think now, because I'm inspired by all of this, I'm probably going to put the word out to a few pages. One of which, the 2 Meter Crew, if you don't mind, inviting people to join us. There's also a big Wires X contingent in Tennessee, so I'm told. So I'm going to invite those folks as well. And it'll be at my shack. And hey, Bobby, giving the thumbs up to Tennessee, I guess. I'll host it from my shack, but it's at a compromised location, not great.
So Saturday at what time? What time? East Coast time, right?
Yeah, it's East Coast time. So your time will be 5 p.m.
Oh,
it's
okay.
8 p.m. East Coast time.
All right. So Saturday the 25th, 5 p.m. in the Virginia room.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to set a reminder because I always have intentions when I talk to you. And then you remind me that I didn't go.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
And probably this week, this Saturday, Kevin, KC8 MTV will probably host the net.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, KC8. Yeah, I've seen that guy. Bobby, you've probably seen that guy too. He's got a pretty cool YouTube channel. Does a lot of stuff with the Yaesu wires. And Bobby is coming in via text messages. So Bobby has a question. The AllStar, is it hardware or software? So the AllStar would be software. And most people are running it on a Raspberry Pi. Some do use a computer, but it kind of takes over the whole computer. So that's why a lot of guys have been doing the Raspberry Pi. Nick, why don't you let Bobby know? You just kind of built one and put one together. I even haven't done this yet.
Yeah, an AllStar node is both. It's hardware and software. So it's basically like any computer that you can dedicate to one task. And then you download an operating system on it, which is there's a couple that you can do, but the most popular is that the ham VoIP software, and you download this program, and then essentially it's just kind of turning it on and then interfacing that computer with a radio, or you can use any other computer like a phone or a tablet, or anything that you can connect to that wireless on the node, and you can make contact with any other node that's within that system. So it's very similar to. It looks like Chris is sharing here.
That's me.
Yeah, so there's a map right here, and I don't have my node hooked up right now. It'll take, or I mean, I have my node hooked up, but I don't have all the stuff on this new computer yet, or I could show you. But yeah, freeze it right there. So right now, all of these different nodes are connected. So you can see right here on the bottom right hand corner is my call sign and my location, and this is my node, which is connected directly to W6VVR. Now I could also go and connect to Mike's node, WG5EEK, and that since it's also connected to VVR, I could have this same contact through him, or I could connect to this one, or they could connect to me. You can link multiple nodes together, and that's the benefit, as opposed to some other digital modes where you can only hook up to one link at a time. Like IRLP, I think you can only do one.
Yeah, and this is what I'm showing. This is a crazy website that Mike and Brandon in Hawaii have put together, and you'll see, during the net, this thing populates with everyone, jumping in via EchoLink, AllStar. I don't know if your Fusion will show up, but yeah, way cool stuff. What?
Is the VVR net now on Fusion?
No.
We're not transmitting on VVR. Somebody's got YouTube in the background.
Huh. I don't know. Maybe it's just a... no, we're not quite... This repeater is not tied to Fusion yet. We do have a Fusion repeater in Fairfield. It's low level. It's more on a test pair. We just don't know if we want to put this repeater on Fusion. And right now in our area, if we go up to one of our mountaintops or hilltops, about 3,000 feet, 2,000 feet, there's a couple hills in the area, it would... let me see. I'm not sharing the right screen here. It would... there's not any pairs. So in other words, all the 2-meter stuff is very overpopulated in our local area. So we're having a hard time finding a place to put it on the frequency band plan goes, Well, cool, guys. We are about to come up on... can you guys still hear me?
No.
Okay, good.
Yep.
We're about to come up on 3 hours. So, that seems to be par for the course. 3-hour net. My bud is telling me. Thank you everyone for coming out. Yeah, Bobby Lee, what's happening, man? We'll have to get you some internet. We'll get that internet cable fixed up and crimped up, and we just need to get you a little bit plug-in speed is always good for Zoom.
Well,
But
the
man,
other thing you could do, Bobby, is you could call in, I think, also on through Zoom with your regular phone.
Yeah,
you can.
do as well.
I don't have that turned on, but you can. I didn't want to get jerky boyed, But yeah, man. So real quick, let's go around the circle. Everyone, say your last thoughts or ideas or questions, and sign off, and then we'll kill it.
Take care. Have a good night. W4MAF. That's it.
Thank you, Mike. Chris?
KR0EFR coming at you. See y'all later.
All right, Bert. Have a good night.
KN60AL, you guys awesome net, and we'll talk with everybody soon.
Very good.
7-3.
7-3.
N6CMB. Chris, just realized I didn't put my call up tonight when I logged in. I got to fix that next time. But thanks, guys. Great night. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next one.
Thank you, Chris. A lot of work behind the scenes. Brian.
All right. Save the best for last. Yeah, cold night in town. I'm going to go to sleep and get ready for school tomorrow. Not looking forward to that.
Well, your school's at home, right?
Yeah, it's at home. I need to buy a gaming chair or something, because I'm sitting in the same chair I have been in 3 hours. It's like a little craftsman stool.
Ergonomics is important. I'm with you. Yes.
Bobby Lee's trying to give us hand signals to give 7-3s, I think.
Oh, that's a 7-3. He's flashing. Yeah, Bobby Lee, KD6KWB.
I thought it was gang symbols he was giving us.
Oh, gang signals. All right, Bobby, we'll get you fixed up. We'll get you some faster speed coming up. So, yes, good night, everyone. 7-3, thanks for watching, and we'll be back next Wednesday. So, this is KM6FAK. Good night. I'm going to start hitting buttons. That tends to kill things.
KM6.